Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. It was a nice calm day in Konoha, capital of Hai no Kuni, also known as Fire Country. The sun was shining brightly as a sign of it being noon. There was a small breeze to keep the temperature at a comfortable degree. The trees was swinging in the wind. Kids was at the park playing under the watchful eyes of their parent or guardian. The ninjas was doing, well, they did what ninjas did on days like this, skip work and enjoy such a beautiful day. One such ninja was Kurenai Yuahi and her two friends Anko Mitarashi and Yugo Azuki. They was enjoying a nice day eating dango and drinking tea in one of the many outside lounge areas at the local restaurant. Although it seemed that everything about today was perfect, there was one person that was not so happy. This person happened to be the owner of the Konoha's orphanage, and the reason she wasn't so happy was because of what she was about to do to Uzumaki Naruto. Though she had to admit she didn't hate him or blame him for all the shinobis that died fighting Kyuubi, but having him there kept the people who was willing to adopt others from coming in. She thought of ways to get him out without getting into much trouble, because if kids wasn't adopted soon, then the orphanage would run out of money and all the kids would be out of a place to stay. So in her mind it was easy get him out and everyone else would be saved from living a life on the streets. So here she was sitting at her desk writing a quick note and walked over to Naruto. Inside she was debating if this was the right thing to do, but looking at the other kids she decided if losing one kid would help the others get adopted, then it was for the best. Uzumaki Naruto, follow me, she said when she got to him. Yes, Shiho, replied the 4-year-old. Shiho took a deep breath and prayed to Kami someone with a kind heart would get her note. You no longer are allowed to stay here, she said. What, why, where would I go? Cried Naruto. I don't know, but you have to leave, she said. I don't want to, he cried. Goodbye, Naruto, she said, pushing the note in the back of his orange coat while shoving him out of the orphanage. I hope you find a good person to take care of you, she whispered when she shut the door. Naruto looked back at the door and blinked away his tears, trying not to cry. He couldn't understand why Shiho would put him out. She was always nice to him, so it didn't make any sense to him. He turned away and started to walk wherever his feet led him. He moved out of the way of anyone who was coming towards him, thankful that it was still noon and not many people was out. He walked and turned random corners, not knowing where to go or how to get to the Hokage's office. He stopped and looked across the street from him and saw 3 women eating something. One had black hair, and what looked to him like a dress made out of bandages. The second had purple hair that was sticking up, and she had on a long brown coat that was all he could see of her. The last woman also had purple hair and was wearing an all-black outfit. As Naruto looked, he saw the lady with purple hair that stuck up drop a piece of dango by accident, and his stomach growled as if telling him to go get it. He licked his lips and peeked from the building he was hiding behind. He looked left then right, making sure that no one was around. He then slowly creeped out and tried to reach the other side, but was cut off by a group of people that came out of nowhere. Naruto looked up and saw they all was looking at him with weird looks in their eyes. He slowly backed up. Where do you think you're going? Asked one of the Chunins. Nowhere, he stuttered out. Got that right, said another. Naruto turned and ran around the building with the men close behind. He cried while they laughed at him. He went completely around the building and ran across the building. He saw the 3 ladies while crying as the men chased and threw stuff at him. The 3 ladies turned and saw Naruto being chased by the Chunins and blinked. The black-haired one then got up and walked after them. Her 2 companions just looked on. The Chunin then pulled out a kunai and threw it. The kunai pierced Naruto's left leg, making him fall. The shinobis laughed and another Chunin threw his kunai. It was stopped by a kunai, making a loud clank. The Chunins blinked and looked around and saw the woman approaching. What is the Genjutsu Ice Queen doing here? Asked one of the Chunins. What is a bunch of Chunins doing picking on a defenseless child for? She replied. That thing is not a child, now get out of the way so we can kill it, said a Chunin. And if I don't? She asked. Like you can take all of us on, Kurenai, said another Chunin. Who said she was alone? Said a voice from behind the Chunins. Should have known Anko the snake mistress and Yugo the weapons mistress would be close by, said a Chunin. As I was saying, if I don't move, what are you going to do? Asked Kurenai. The Chunin huffed in annoyance. Let's go, guys, he said. Idiots, attacking a kid like that, said Kurenai, picking up Naruto, who passed out from running so much and blood lose. That's him, the one with who sealed in him? Asked Anko. Yea, it is. It sickens me to know that the shinobi boast about how fair they are, but then they try and kill a 4-year-old when no one is looking, said Kurenai. I know, but what can you do? It's not like you can adopt him. Many shinobi, including Kakashi and Itachi, but the council blocked them all, said Yugo. And the Hokage acts like he don't even care, said Anko. I know, I'll think of something. I'm taking him home for now though, said Kurenai. Later, said Anko and Yugo. Kurenai took Naruto to her house and laid him on her bed. She took of his coat and found the note that was stuck in it. To whoever finds this. This is Uzumaki Naruto. He is an orphan and has no place to go. He used to live at the orphan, but due to him being there, the adults of Konoha have came to the orphan less and less, and without kids being adopted we don't have enough money to take care of everyone here. So although I don't want to do this and the Hokage not giving us any more money, I have to kick him out of the orphanage at least until we get enough money to bring him back. So please, whoever finds this note, please take care of Naruto. Shiho, owner of the orphanage. Kurenai looked at the letter again, then back at Naruto. She then made sure everything was locked and went to the Hokage's office. Hey Gigi, we have to talk, she said. The Hokage sighed. What is it, Kurenai? I already told you I have no missions for you, he said. Kurenai looked at him funny. Who said anything about a mission? No, I'm here about Naruto, she said. What about him? Asked the Hokage. I'm adopting him, she said. You already know that is not possible, said the Hokage. Just like it's not possible for you to give the orphanage more money, or it's not possible that everyone who wasn't old enough 4 years ago to know about Kyuubi. News flash, everyone from the age 5 and up treats him like shit, and the younger ones are starting to act just like their parents towards him, and I'm tired of it, so I'm taking care of him whether you and the council like it or not, and I'm going to tell him about Kyuubi when I think he is ready, hoping he won't find out as stupid, she said, then she left. That woman is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode, he said to himself. Kurenai arrived home and saw Naruto still sleeping. She smiled to herself and settled in for the rest of the day and started to read some of her old books. The next morning, Kurenai woke up and looked down at Naruto, who had snuggled closer to her, and smiled. She went to shower, then started to make breakfast for the two of them. Once she was finished, she went back to the room and was about to wake up Naruto when he started to toss and turn. She sat down and rubbed his cheek to get him to calm down, which had the effect of waking him. Morning, sleepy head, she said. Who are you? Where am I? He asked quietly, moving as far away from her as possible without leaving the comfort of the bed and blanket. You don't remember I'm the lady who saved you yesterday from that mob, she replied. Oh, thank you, he said. Let's get you cleaned up. She then picked him up and took him to the bathroom. She took off his shirt and saw all the scratches that he had on his body from the beatings he received and frowned, but soon her motherly instincts took over and she ran warm water to bath in. She poured water on his head, then proceeded to scrub him clean. She washed him a few times to get the grim off him, then picked him up in a towel and headed back to her room. Hey little guy, do you have anything besides that orange outfit? She asked. No, Shiho only bought me new clothes when the ones I had was too messed up to wear, he said. Okay, then let's get you into one of my t-shirts. Now it's going to be really big, but don't worry, she told him. After putting the shirt on him, she saw he still didn't quite seem comfortable in it, so she started to tickle him to get him to lighten up. Looks like someone is ticklish. Come on, let's eat breakfast, she said. You mean I get to eat also? He asked. They didn't feed you at the orphanage? Kurenai asked. No, only Shiho would give me food, the others would just hand me scraps when everyone else was done, said Naruto. He looked up into her intense red eyes and flinched as they wasn't as inviting as they was before. I see, well, here you can eat as much as you want, said Kurenai. After both had their fill on the food, Kurenai put the rest into the fridge for later. She then led him out the small apartment she lived in and walked down the street with him proudly on her back while he laughed away, swinging his legs side to side while his hands was gripped tightly on the front of her dress. Anyone who looked at her thought she was a different person, but none thought to say or do something that would make them think otherwise. Well, almost no one. What is this? Why are you carrying that demon brat? Yelled a Junin. Kurenai stopped and turned to him. Her eyes went back to her Ice Queen appearance. You have 10 seconds to get out of my sight or I will kill you, she said. I asked you a question, he said. A kunai flew at him, ripping through his skin on his left arm. You have 5 seconds now, she said. Bitch. Then he jumped onto the nearest roof and headed towards the hospital. Miss, what is that word he called you? Is it your name? Asked Naruto. My name is Kurenai, and that word he said I never want you to repeat it, she said. Okay, I promise, he said. Good, a person never breaks their promise. Now let get you some clothes, she said. Kurenai and Naruto was in the shinobi shop looking for clothes. She had Naruto try on multiple styles of clothes, but the only ones he liked was the ones that was similar to the clothes that Anbu wore. She couldn't even get him to try on other styles of clothes. So she settled for buying him Anbu-style clothes. All was in orange, which also confused her. After she paid for them, she put him back on her back and headed out the store. Naruto was now wearing orange loose pants, an orange t-shirt and sleeveless jacket, with black shinobi boots. Kurenai looked at him. Naruto, why would you only try on Anbu-style clothes? She asked. I saw some pictures of a Hokage and he wore this kind of clothes, said Naruto. So you want to be like that Hokage? Asked Kurenai. Yes, Naruto answered. Okay, it's going to take a lot of training, Kurenai said. Kurenai, the Hokage wants us in his office. Yugo is already there, said Anko, relieving Kurenai's hands of some of her bags. Alright, let's go. Hold on, Naru-chan, Kurenai said. She and Anko then jumped onto the nearest roof and headed towards the Hokage's tower at full speed, with Kurenai holding onto Naruto's hands so he didn't fly off her back. Once they arrived at the base of the tower, Kurenai let go of his hands. Are you okay, Naru-chan? She asked. That was fun, let's do it again, he laughed. Wow, only one day and he already likes you, said Anko, leading them up to the Hokage's office. Naru-chan, wait here for a minute, okay, said Kurenai. Okay, nice lady, said Naruto. Anko. Kurenai, thank you for coming, said the Hokage. Not like we had much a choice, said Anko. Maybe, but I had you three come here because Kurenai brought to my attention yesterday that she was going to be taking care of Naruto and there was nothing I can do to stop her, said the Hokage. Yes, and I still stand by what I said, said Kurenai. So here is my proposal. Kurenai can adopt Naruto if Yugo joins the Anbu and Anko joins the interrogation and assassination team, said the Hokage. You're blackmailing us? Asked Anko. The Hokage just shrugged. It's fine with me, I was thinking about joining anyway, said Yugo. I'll do this only if we get to train him how we want and I get to let anyone I want sign the snake contract, said Anko. Fine, said the Hokage. Okay, then I'm your new interrogation and assassination member, said Anko. Also, Morino Ibiki is currently the head of the team, said the Hokage. So where are the papers? Asked Kurenai. Huh, was Sarutobi's smart reply. The papers so I can officially adopt Naru-chan, said Kurenai. Oh, right here, I just need your signature and his, said the Hokage. I'll get him, said Anko, walking to the door. Gaki, you can come in now, she said, opening it for him. Naruto, how are you? Asked the Hokage. I'm fine, Gigi, that nice lady was keeping me safe, he replied. That's great, but I need you to put your name on this, said the Hokage. Okay, what is it? he asked, writing down his name sloppily. It's adoption papers, the old man replied. What's adoption? Asked the 4-year-old. It means I'm your cousin, said Kurenai. Really? Why would you want to be my cousin? Everyone else beats on me. Why are you different? Said Naruto, looking like he didn't believe her. Naruto, do you not want me to adopt you? I thought you would like to be my son and get to live with me and eat how much you want and bath in the warm water, said Kurenai, hurt that he didn't think she would want to adopt her, and it was evident in her eyes and her tone. You're not trying to trick me, are you? He asked. What? Why would I do that? You're such a good boy, she said. Okay, I want to be your son cousin, he said, hugging her legs. I'm glad. I thought you wouldn't want to, she said. I hoped you would be my cousin when you saved me and let me stay with you, he said. This is all good that you two get along, but if you don't mind, I have work to do, said the Hokage. Let's go, Naru-chan, we have a few hours to do whatever you want, said Kurenai. Really, can we go to the park? Asked Naruto. To the park it is, said Kurenai. What about your bags? You can't walk around with them all day, said Anko. Can you take them back to my apartment? Asked Kurenai. What the hell, I'm not your personal servant, said Anko. I'll let you play with Naru-chan, said Kurenai. Anko just looked at her. Fine, what do you want? Anko whispered in her ear. You can't be serious just to take a few bags to my apartment, said Kurenai. Please, your apartment is on the other side of Konoha, said Anko. Fine, I'll do it, said Kurenai. Okay, good, and this only stays between you and me, Anko said, walking away from Kurenai. Naruto, and you go with the bags of clothes Kurenai bought for Naruto. What was that about? Asked Yugo. It's what she asked me to do for her, taking Naru-chan's clothes to my apartment, said Kurenai. I know that. What did she ask you to do? Said Yugo. I can't tell you, she just said it stays between me and her, replied Kurenai. You two are impossible, said Yugo. Just ask Anko what she wants me to do, said Kurenai. Let's go, cousin, before the people get there, then I can't go to the park, said Naruto. Okay, Naru-chan, we are going and no one will tell you you're not allowed in the park, said Kurenai. As soon as they reached the park, Naruto let go of Kurenai's hand and ran towards the slide. He went down it a few times while Kurenai and Yugo talked. Anko joined them a few minutes later. After Naruto went down the slide 10 times, he ran to the swing set. He looked at it. Cousin, what's this? He yelled, pointing to it. It's a swing, you should try it, Kurenai told him. He climbed up on the seat and leaned back, then tried to go forward. Cousin, it won't go, he said. I'll push you. Kurenai then got up and started to push Naruto on the swing. He laughed while she pushed him. This is fun, he said through his laughter. An Anbu came up to Kurenai and whispered to her, Okay, Naru-chan, we have to go, cousin have to work, she told him, picking him up off the swing set. What? No, cousin, don't go, he said, wrapping his arms around her neck. I have to so I can make money for us to eat and sleep, she said. Okay, cousin, he replied. I'll be back later today. You're going to stay with Anko Nichan until I come pick you up, Kurenai said. Naruto ran across the park and jumped on Anko. Nichan, what are we going to do while cousin is at work? He said. How about I teach you to read and write, said Anko. Really? Said Naruto. Of course, let's go to my house so we can get started, Anko said. I'll be back to get him after my mission, Anko, said Kurenai. Anko led Naruto towards her apartment. While they walked, Naruto danced around her in circles. Nichan, don't you have to work like cousin? Asked Naruto. No, Naru-chan, I don't have to work today, Anko replied. Naruto continued to run up ahead of Anko while playing in the streets of Konoha. He turned a corner and was hit in the head by something. Ouch, he said, rubbing his head. He looked around and saw 2 scrolls. He picked them up and opened them. He looked at the pictures, then at the words, and was confused. He then remembered that he couldn't read yet, so he closed them back. Hey Naru-chan, what you got there? Asked Anko as she stood at the corner. I think they are stories because they have pictures in them, he said. Where did you get them from? Asked Anko. They fell out the sky, he demonstrated with his arms, then hit me on the head that hurt, he said. Let me see them, Anko said. He handed the 2 scrolls to her. Naru-chan, these are jutsus, she said. What is a jutsu? He asked. It's something that ninjas use, kind of like powers, she said. Cool powers, I want powers, he said. It's not powers. She then thought for a minute. Let's get to my house, then I'll explain it to you. She then picked him up and shunshine to her apartment. She sat him on the couch. Now listen carefully, Naru-chan. A jutsu is something that all ninjas are able to do. They are kind of like a power. In order to do jutsus, it takes years of training, said Anko. That sounds boring, said Naruto. Anko looked at the scrolls. You want to know what they are? She asked. Okay, he replied. The first one is a copy of wind jutsus that are only found in Suna. The second is lighting jutsus found only in Kumo, she said. Wind sounds lame, but lighting is scary, he said. Well, you know, Naru-chan, there is a rumor that Suna shinobis are able to use wind jutsus to fly, she said. Really, that's so cool, Ni-chan, I want to fly, he said, jumping up and down on the couch. So if I teach you, will you behave? She asked. Yes, Ni-chan, he said. Okay, first you have to learn to read and write, proper manners, to use chakra, and how to address people of importance, she said. Okay, Ni-chan, I'm ready to start. What first? He asked. Let's start with reading, writing, and learning about chakra, said Anko. Anko grabbed a scroll and a pen and wrote the alphabet down. Okay, I want you to copy those letters down. You will do this every day until your handwriting improves, she said. Okay, Ni-chan, Naruto said. While you're doing this, I'm going to explain what chakra is. She then proceeded to tell him what chakra was, how it was accessed and used to perform jutsus. After a few hours, there was a knock on her door. Hold on, Anko said. She slid a pillow under Naruto's head in replace of her lap, then walked to the door. Sorry it took so long, I had to replace my lap with a pillow, she said, opening the door. That's fine, Anko, said Kurenai. She walked into the apartment and looked around. What's all this? She asked. Well, on our way here so I can teach Naruto to read and write, he said. 2 scrolls fell down on his head and asked me to read them to him, thinking they were stories, but they turned out to be jutsus, and after explaining what a jutsu is and telling him that some ninjas in Suna can use wind jutsus to fly, he asked me to teach him to use jutsus, so I started to teach him about chakra while he learned to write, said Anko. Okay, but what's with all the scrolls? Asked Kurenai. I used them as demonstration for what chakra was made of. He also used a lot to learn the basics of writing, Anko replied. How far did he get? Asked Kurenai. Well, after explaining it a few times, he got the basics of chakra and he knows the alphabets now, said Anko. Okay, I'll continue his training tomorrow, said Kurenai. You can stay here as you want instead of risking waking him up, said Anko. Thanks, said Kurenai. She then sat on the couch Naruto was on and put his head on her lap in replace of the pillow. She then leaned back and closed her eyes. Anko turned out the lights and went to her room. So what did you think? Was it good, bad, okay? Tell me what you thought. Any ideas or pairings you want to see, tell me. Over the next year, Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo taught Naruto how to access his chakra, how to read, write, learned how he was supposed to act at important events, and about the history of Konoha. 3 months after he started to learn about chakra and learned that the Yondaime was the best seal master ever, he asked to learn seals, so they started to buy scrolls to teach him from. Towards the end of his first year of learning, he knew how to write basic storage seals, though he didn't have the control of his chakra to use them properly. Also during this, he learned that Hinata, the heir to the Hyuga clan, was having a little sister born soon. He didn't know why this was important, that they went to congratulate them on having a baby, but did it anyway. A few days after the birth of Hanabi Hyuga, Kurenai told him they was going to a funeral. He didn't know what a funeral was, but his cousin told him this was important and he had to behave or he would be punished. They arrived at the funeral. He was dressed in all black like everyone else. He looked around and saw a girl sitting by herself in the back. He walked to join her. "Hello, my name is Naruto Uehi," he said. She looked at him. "I'm Hi Hinata Hi Hyuga," she said while crying. "I don't know who died, do you?" he asked. "My cousin," she cried out. Naruto was quiet for a minute. Kurenai was about to move him away from Hinata so she can be by herself until he started to talk. "You're lucky," he whispered just loud enough so only Kurenai and Hinata could hear. Hinata gasped. "Ho, how am I lucky?" she stuttered out. "Because you know your cousin, you know what she looked like. How her voice sounded. You have memories of your cousin. But me, I never once got to see my cousin. She died giving birth to me, and my otusan also died before I was born. You have memories to remember your cousin by, I don't. I have to go by stories," he said sadly. Then he perked up. "But that's okay because now I have a new cousin Kurenai. She adopted me, so now I know what you felt like when you was with your cousin. You just have to remember those times when you get down and do everything you can to make your cousin proud of you," he finished. Kurenai smiled when he finished. Hinata just looked at him. "Thank you, Naruto-san, you really helped me see that not everyone gets to see their cousin. I'm just being selfish. I should be happy of the time I got with her," Hinata said. Hinata looked up to her otusan. "Naruto-san, how did you think of all that?" she asked. Naruto smiled. "I heard cousin tell that to some girl whose mother died. I memorized what she said because it made that girl feel better. I thought it would make you feel better," he said. "Thank you, it did. I'm going up to sit with my otusan. I hope one day we can be friends, Naruto-san." She then walked up to sit next to her otusan. He looked down to her, surprised that she came this close to her mother's dead body. "Are you okay, Hinata?" he asked. "Yes, otusan. I just had to realize that not everyone have a cousin to spend time with. I just have to remember those times and try and make her proud," Hinata said. Hiyashi smiled. "Just do your best, and I know I don't say it, but I'm proud of you and always will be. Remember when I talk negative, that's because how I was raised and I'm trying to motivate you," he said. Kurenai pulled Naruto onto her lap. "You did a good job, Naru-chan," she told him. "Cousin, what's it like to lose someone?" he asked. Kurenai thought about it. "I hope you never have to know what that pain feels like, baby," she said. "Cousin?" he said. "Yes," she replied. "What was my real cousin like?" he asked. "She acted just like you do. Always full of energy, always wanting to learn, get stronger, help anyone she could, and beautiful," Kurenai said. "Like you?" Naruto asked. Kurenai just smiled. "She was my Junin sensei when I was a genin," she said. "Cousin, do you have anything that was my real cousin?" he asked. She thought about it. "Actually I do, but you have to earn it first," she said. "Okay, cousin. I hope Hinata-chan is going to be okay," he said. "Cousin, is my real cousin in here somewhere?" he asked. "Yes. I'll bring you to see her grave one day, but not today," she said. A week later, Naruto was walking to eat lunch with Yugo. They just finished part of their Kunai and Senbon training and she was treating him to lunch anywhere he wanted. The 5-year-old boy ran happily as he led Yugo to the ramen stand. He was a few steps in front of Yugo when a scroll fell and hit Naruto in the head, again. Naruto rubbed the offended spot while picking up the scroll. Yugo jumped on the roof of the building the scroll fell from and didn't see anyone, so she dropped down and walked to Naruto. "You okay, Naru-chan?" she asked. "Yes." He held the scroll so she can read them. Yugo took the scrolls and opened them. After reading them, she looked at Naruto. "Well, someone gave you sealing scrolls. We will work on them later," she told him. "Okay. Do you know who?" he asked. "No, they was gone before I saw who did it," she replied. Tsunade and Shizune was sitting at a casino in the middle of tea country. As Tsunade was deciding what game she wanted to play, Jiraiya came up to them. how have things been? He asked, sitting across from Tsunade. As well as things can for a senin who hasn't betrayed their village, Tsunade replied. That's good. Have you been back to the village? Jiraiya asked. Why should I go back? Last time I went the council banned anyone from trying to adopt the Gaki, Tsunade said. Jiraiya nodded, knowing what she was talking about. I know, but things have turned around for him. You should go see, he said. Maybe I'll check it out, Tsunade said. Just make sure you don't get caught. You know how sensei is, Jiraiya said. Yeah, I know, he's still trying to get me to come back to teach medics, Tsunade said. Maybe you should. It will give you the money to pay off your debt, Jiraiya said. I have another idea to pay it off, she said, looking at Jiraiya. I don't like the way you're looking at me, Jiraiya said. Hey, what are you two talking about, and who is the council preventing you from adopting? Shizune said as she was confused by what they was talking about. Tsunade looked at her. Don't worry about that right now, maybe one day you will meet him, she told her. Now Jiraiya, how have the book sales been? She asked. Great, my last book sold 1 million copies in 2 months, he said. Good. Let's make a deal, she said. What type of deal? He asked. Tsunade looked at Shizune. Can you leave us for a minute? She asked. Sure. Shizune walked away. Kurenai was standing in the forest of death with Naruto. Now I know usually we train at home or at Yugo's house, but now we need more space, and this is technically owned by Anko and she let us use it, so for now on all your training will be held here, Kurenai said. Okay Kasen, what are we going to do first? Naruto asked. Kurenai went into her pocket. I know you're learning snake style from Anko, but Yugo found a taijutsu scroll in the Anbu archive. It was developed by the Yondaime. The style is called Wing Tsun and it basically uses your opponent's force against them, she told him. So with this style I will let my opponent attack first and use that momentum to get the advantage, Naruto asked. Exactly, and when you combine this with snake style you will be hard to figure out. Now get ready, we are going to go over the first steps of the style, Kurenai said. A month later Naruto was started to get the hang of the first stage of learning Wing Tsun. Kurenai, Anko, or Yugo still haven't found out who drops those scrolls on Naruto's head, but they wasn't complaining since they all had something to in them to help with his training, but still they at least wanted to know who was doing it. As they was walking looking for something to do, another scroll fell down directly in front of Naruto. Kurenai looked up and saw a green flash of cloth and jumped up onto the roof. As soon as she got there the person vanished without a trace. Damn it, she yelled. What's wrong? Anko asked, jumping next to her. I almost caught the person who keeps dropping those scrolls. I saw a green shirt or jacket when I got up here, they had just vanished, Kurenai said. Don't worry, we will catch them soon, Anko said. Kasen, what's this? Naruto yelled. Anko and Kurenai dropped down from the roof and looked at what was sealed in the scroll. Naru-chan, this is a rod. They are extremely hard to use and only a few have ever completely mastered using one. The last was your Kasen Kushina, Kurenai said. So I'm going to learn to use it? Naruto asked. Yup, Kurenai said. Tsunade met Jiraiya at a bar in Wave Country. Why are we meeting in a bar, pervert? She asked. Hey, I paid off your debt, the least you could do was meet me here, Jiraiya responded. Tsunade looked around and made sure no one was listening, and I let you model one of your characters off me, so we are even, she said. Yes we are, and I must say I think this next book will be my best seller, he responded. I just want my cut for letting you use me as a main character, and nothing about me better not be in that book, she said. Don't worry, I have more respect to put actual things about friends in my books, and you will get your cut. I'll deposit it into your bank account, he said. Good. Did you go back to the village? Tsunade asked. Yes, I went back. He asked. I had to sneak away from Shizune while she was sleeping, but I was able to get there, Tsunade said. What do you think? He asked. Naruto had just finished learning another stance in the snake style and was sitting in the forest of death studying scrolls on ceiling. He had spent as much time as possible to learn sealing since Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo worried about teaching him everything else he needed to know. He pulled out his ink and practice scrolls and started to write seals on them. Over the fence flew a scroll landing right in front of him. Naruto looked up and only saw a puff of smoke and shrugged. He opened the scroll, Becoming a Seal Master by Minato Namikaze, he read. Pulling the book out the scroll, he opened the first page and started to read. Anko walked up. Hey Naru-chan, where did you get the book? She asked, kneeling down to read the name of it. It flew over the gate and landed in front of me. I looked up and only saw smoke, he told her, then went back to reading. I see, she said, getting up and walking out the gate. She looked around but saw nothing that could give her a clue about who threw it. A week later, all three kunoichis and Naruto was in the Hokage's office. What do you want, Gigi? We got training to do, Kurenai said. I realize that, but I have been getting complaints that scrolls have been coming up missing, the Hokage said. And this has what to do with us? Anko asked. Well, I was wondering if you knew anything about it. There was a report that Naruto has been getting scrolls from an unknown source, he said. Oh, and who filled this report, and how would they know where he got scrolls from? If you forgot, he is not allowed in any shinobi stores, Kurenai said. I know, but I have to ask so we can prove his innocence, the Hokage said. Well, he is innocent, he never is out in the village without one of us, Yugo said. Okay, well, I'll let you get on with your training, but if you see anything that will help us solve this, let me know. So far the only scrolls that have been taken are E-rank, but we don't want anyone thinking they might have the chance for something bigger, the Hokage said. We will keep an eye out, Kurenai said, walking out the door. Naruto was getting ready for his second birthday with his three guardians. Although Kurenai was his official cousin, he felt like Anko and Yugo was also his cousins. They all even moved into a house that they had built outside the Forest of Death. A lot of council members complained, but they was quieted down by the clan heads of Hiashi, Sum, Shibi, Shikaku, Inoichi, and Shuza. Even with the Uchiha backing, having Naruto removed from the three kunoichis' protection, the elders wasn't able to get enough backing to force the removal, mainly because most the shinobi force thought it was a good idea for him to have parents, and the Anbu more specifically prevented the council from doing anything by backed him being raised by the three 100%. Naruto walked down the steps in his normal attire of all orange clothes and went to eat breakfast like normal. As he sat down, Kurenai looked at him. So Naru-chan, what do you want to do for your birthday? She asked. Naruto thought. Well, it would be nice if I had some friends, he said. The three nodded. Leave it to me, Kurenai said. Okay, what else? Anko asked. Well, a party would be great, but it's not enough people to have one, so I guess ice cream and cake, he said. Consider it done. Now let's go, Naru-chan, it's a great day and you should have some fun before that festival start, Yugo said, leading outside once he was finished eating. Yugo-kasan, what's that festival for and why don't I ever get to go? He asked. Well, I don't know how to explain it right now, just wait till you get older and able to protect yourself better and I'll take you, Yugo responded. Okay, he said. A few hours later, Yugo brought Naruto back to the house and immediately took him up to his room. Now Naru-chan, don't come out your room until I come get you. She then gave him a new book on scrolls to learn from. Here, look through this until I come back, she told him. Yugo went downstairs. How is everything coming along? She asked. Good so far. Kurenai went to invite some people and their kids, Anko said. Great. Need any help? Yugo asked. Yay, can you start the cake? Anko said. Kurenai arrived at her first house, the Naras, and knocked. Shikaku opened the door. How can I help you, Kurenai? He asked. Well, today is Naruto's birthday and I came to invite you to the house, she said. Sure, we will be over. Yoshino doesn't like that festival, knowing what the meaning behind it is, Shikaku said. Okay, thank you. Anyone you know who might want to come? Kurenai asked. Yes, Inoichi has a daughter Naruto's age and Shuza has a son. They both come over a lot. They might want to come, he told her. Okay, thanks, I'll invite them, Kurenai said, walking away. She then walked to the Akamichi compound and knocked. Hello, Shuza. Shikaku said that you had a son Naruto's age and I came to invite you to his birthday party, she said. Shuza thought. We will come, he said. Okay, bye. She then walked away. She walked to the Yamanaka flower store and saw Ino. Hey Ino, where is your Otusan? She asked. Ino turned. He is in the back of the shop. Why do you need anything? Ino asked. No, I just came to invite you to Naruto's birthday party, Kurenai said. But ain't the festival today? Ino asked. Yes, it also is his birthday today. He never had a party, so I decided to give him one, Kurenai said. What, how can he never have had a party before? Ino asked, astonished as she remembered the many birthday parties she had. Well, I adopted him 2 years ago, Kurenai said. Oh, Ino thought. Hold on, I'll ask Otusan, she said. She ran into the back, then came back a few minutes later. He said he will bring me, Ino said. Great, he knows where my house is. Kurenai then walked out of the shop. She arrived at the Inuzuka compound 10 minutes later. Hey Sum, I came to invite you and your 2 kids to Naruto's birthday party, she said. Sum thought, I'll try and get there, but Kiba really likes that festival for some reason. Hana hates it, says it's pointless and something about seeing a kid beat at it, Sum said. I see. Well, if you want you can drop Hana off then take Kiba to the festival then come by later with him, Kurenai suggested. I will do that, Sum said. Great. Now I have to go to the Hyugas, Kurenai said and left. She arrived at the Hyuga compound and was surprised to see Hiyashi standing there as if he was waiting for her. You finally came, he said. You was waiting for me? She asked. Yes, I've been waiting for you to come by ever since Naruto and Hinata met at the funeral. She has been wanting to play with him for some time, but with Hanabi I don't have the time to take her to your house, he said. I see. Well, I apologize for that, but I came to invite you and your kids to his party, she said. I figured as much, but I must decline as I have a lot of work, but if you want you can take Hinata and Hanabi with you and I'll send a Hyuga guard to pick them up at 9 inches, he said. Kurenai looked at her watch. That gives them 3.5 hours to play. I'll take them with me, she said. Great, I'll go get them, he said, walking into the compound. Soon Kurenai had both Hinata and Hanabi. After a visit to the Aburame compound they walked to her house. Kurenai, Hanabi, and Hinata arrived at the house. Hold on Hinata, let me make sure that Naru-chan is dressed properly. Kurenai then put Hanabi down so she could walk around and went upstairs. She came down a few minutes later. Okay Hinata, you can go up. His door is the one that's open, she told her. Hinata walked upstairs and knocked on the open door. Naruto looked up at her and smiled. Hello, want to play with me? He asked. Yes, she replied. Naruto went into his chest that was by his closet and opened. Come on, I have a lot of things to play with, he said. Hinata walked into the room and over to the chest and looked. Wow, this is a lot, she said. Don't you have toys? Naruto asked. Oh, I have some toys actually. Me and my Imouto have an entire room for our toys, she said as she pulled things out to play with. Soon the other kids started to arrive. Whoa Hinata, I didn't know you would be here, Ino said from the door. Hinata looked over at her and smiled. Hello Ino, she said. Hey, you want to play with us? Naruto asked to the 4 kids at his door. Sure, Choji said, walking in followed by Ino, Shikamaru, and Shino. Soon Hana arrived and said goodbye to her cousin and Otuto. As directed by Yugo, she walked upstairs to Naruto's room. She looked around. Well, hello everyone, I'm Hana, she said. Naruto looked at her. Hi, I'm Naruto. Want to play with us? He said. Sure. She walked in the room and they started to play Shinobi. They all picked their favorite character and started to act like well Shinobi. An hour later Yugo came up. Having fun? She asked. Yes Yugo-kasan, Naruto replied. Good, now come downstairs, dinner is ready, she said. They walked downstairs with Yugo behind them all when there was a knock at the door. Coming, she said. Yugo walked and opened the door. I'm back. Kiba got hungry and bored without Hana, Sum said. Well, come in. We was just about to serve dinner, Yugo said. They all walked into the kitchen and saw all the adults sitting at the table. Well, form a line and wash your hands, then come to me and Anko to get your food, Kurenai said. 9 came and everyone started to leave. The Hyuga guard came and picked up a sleeping Hanabi and tired Hinata. Kurenai took Naruto to bed and tucked him in. After picking up the toys, she closed the door and walked downstairs to the kitchen where Yugo and Anko was cleaning up. She sat down. That was a great party, she said. Yes, it was. Even if he didn't any presents, he made some friends and that's all that matters, Anko said. I think him getting friends is enough of a present in his eyes, Yugo said. Yes, I'm actually surprised everyone showed up though with the festival and all, Kurenai said. Me too. I know Ino love that festival, even if she don't know what it's for. Choji and Kiba are the same, Yugo said as she remember watching them play at the festival. Well, hopefully next year he will get presents, Anko said. Hopefully. Well, I have to get going, you know how people get after the kids are gone at that festival, Yugo said. How can we forget? They tried to break in the last house I bought, Kurenai said. We know, that's why we decided to move in together, Yugo said. Then she left. Anko looked around. She got out of cleaning again, she said. Stop complaining. Naru-chan is sleeping and we finally got the night to ourselves, Kurenai said. Anko kissed Kurenai. You're right, let's hurry and clean up and get to my room, she said. 3 months later, Naruto stood in front of Kurenai. Okay, Naru-chan, show me what you learned so far in taijutsu, she said. Okay, Kasen, Naruto responded. Naruto got into the standard snake-style stance. Kurenai got into her taijutsu stance. Naruto ran up to Kurenai and stopped when she was within his reach. Kurenai swung at him, which he spent to the side and dodged and hit her with a left elbow in her side. Kurenai then did a spin kick at his head, which he ducked under and punched her in the back. This continued for 2 hours, with Kurenai steadily getting faster in her attacks. Soon Kurenai stopped. That's enough, Naru-kun, she said. So how did I do? He asked. Good, but you're still too slow, Kurenai said. How do I fix that? Naruto asked. I'll start that training tomorrow. For now, don't worry about it, Kurenai said. Yugo walked up. Time for weapon training yet? She asked. Yes, I'm going to start his speed training tomorrow, Kurenai said. Okay. Get ready, Naru-chan, Yugo said. Okay. Naruto unsealed his rod from the scroll and got into his stance after he was able to stand. Good. Your stance has less flaws in it than last time, Yugo said. They attacked him without notice. Danzo, Homura, and Kaharu was sitting in a secret chamber. We need to get those 3 away from that Kyuubi Gaki so I can take him and turn him into our weapon, Danzo said. Yes, we do, but nothing we have tried have worked, Kaharu said. I know. Any other ideas? Danzo asked. How about sending them each on missions? Homura asked. Why didn't we think about this earlier? Danzo said. They walked out chamber. Kurenai was in the Hokage's office. I have an A-ranked mission for you, he said. What kind? She asked. Infiltrate, seduce, and eliminate, he said. Would I have any experience in these types of missions? Kurenai said. I know, but most of our Junins are out on missions, and you're the only one left. You will be able to get into Kiri unnoticed, he told her. Fine, when do I leave? Kurenai asked. Immediately, the third responded. Kurenai nodded and walked out. 2 days later, Anko was in the Hokage's office. Anko, I have a infiltrate and assassinate for you, he said. Rank? She asked. S. He told her. Great. The target, and when do I start? She asked. The target is Gato. His corporation is becoming too large and he is starting to hire missing nins and using them to do his bidding. You will have a team of 2 ANBUs with you and you leave immediately, he said. Right. Anko then walked out. 3 days later, Yugo was in the Hokage's office with Naruto. Sorry Yugo, but I need you for a mission, he said. I am going to have to deny this mission until Kurenai or Anko returns, she said. I'm sorry, but this mission needs your weapons expertise, he said. And what the hell do you expect me to do with Naru-chan until one of us returns? Yugo yelled. I'm sure he will be safe until one of you return. I'll have Anbu watch over him until one of you return, he said. Kakashi walked into the office. Am I interrupting? He asked. No Kakashi, you actually came at a perfect time, Yugo said. I did? He asked confused. Yes, I need someone to watch Naru-chan until one of us return from our mission, Yugo said. Kakashi looked at Naruto. Sure, I'll do it, he said shrugging. Good. Also, we was supposed to start his speed training. Can you start it for us? She asked. Sure. Kakashi said. Good, now that we have taken care of that, you leave immediately, Yugo. The three then left the office. Kakashi was sitting in the living room looking at Naruto. So Naruto, what do you normally do before you start training? He asked. Play in my room and sometimes my friends come over, he answered. You don't over their house? Kakashi asked. Yes, I only go over to their house when Kasen schedule it because all my friends are from clans, Naruto said. I see, want to walk around the village before we start training, you might meet someone new, Kakashi said. Naruto shifted nervously, remembering all the bad experiences from walking around the village. Kasen said I'm not allowed out in the village without them, he said. Oh, I see. Well, I promise nothing will happen and we will only stay out for an hour at most, he said. Naruto thought. Okay, he said. Kakashi made a shadow clone to stay and watch over the house and they left. They was on their way back when they passed a new weapons shop. Hey, a new shop, Naruto said. Let's check it out, Kakashi said. They walked into the shop and saw a girl who looked no older than Naruto flicking kunais, shurikens, senbons, and anything else small enough to pick up with one hand and throw at a target without even looking up from her book. What amazed them was she was hitting every target dead on. Naruto's eyes widened. Amazing, he said. The girl looked up. Oh, sorry, how can I help you? She asked. That was amazing. How did you do that? Naruto asked. She shrugged. I don't know, I just do, she responded. Can you teach me? Naruto asked. There is nothing to teach, I never learned how to do it. I just do it. It's a natural talent I have, she replied. Oh, are you training to become a kunoichi? Naruto asked. She looked at him. No, why? She asked. With an ability like that and the right training you can be a great kunoichi, Kakashi said. Well, I have anyone to teach me and I have to help my dad around the shop, she said. Have you ever wanted to be a kunoichi? Kakashi asked. Yes, I always wanted to be one ever since I heard of the Sennin Tsunade. She is my idol, Tenten said. If I promise to let you meet Tsunade, will you become a kunoichi? Kakashi asked. Yes, oh yes, I will, Tenten said. Okay then, if you become a kunoichi and I will get Tsunade to come meet you, maybe even teach you a few things, Kakashi said. Deal, Tenten said. Well, I'm going to be a ninja. My name is Naruto, he said, holding his hand out to her. Tenten looked at him. I heard about you. Some people came in here and told us not to let you in, saying how dangerous you are, but you look harmless to me, Tenten said. He looks harmless to me also, Tenten's father said. Well, my name is Tenten, she said, shaking his hand. Well, it's good to meet you both, but we have to be going, Kakashi. Yes, well, come back soon, he said, letting them out. 2 weeks later, Anko came back from her mission. She just left the Hokage's office and hurried to the house to make sure Naruto was okay. Naru-chan, you okay? She asked, jumping down from the trees. Yes, Anko-kasen, he said. Okay. Go inside for a minute, I have to talk to Kakashi, Anko said. Naruto ran into the house. So what happened? She asked. Well, I stopped 5 assassination attempts on him. He met a new girl named Tenten whose Otusan owns the new weapons shop. Her Otusan gave him a set of training Senbons, and I started training him in speed and the basics of how to use Senbons, Kakashi said lazily. Is that all that happened? He didn't get hurt or anything, did he? Anko asked. Nope. Oh, I did convince Tenten to become a kunoichi. She has this amazing ability to hit a target no matter where it is, Kakashi said. Okay, thank you. Gigi wants to see you, Anko said. Okay, bye. Kakashi then walked off. Kurenai was walking out of Kiri after finishing her mission. She frowned as she broke her genjutsu as she remembered how close that was to getting out of hand and something happening she didn't want to happen. She ended up having to not only kill her target but also a few others who was proving to be a constant restraint on her mission and making it take 2 weeks longer than it should have. Yugo was just arriving in the village from her mission. The mission was difficult but honestly any Anbu could have done it. Except for the constant arrival of new enemies, the mission was easy enough for a couple Chunins to handle. She looked around as she walked through the village and smiled as she saw children running around and playing with their friends. She walked to the Hokage's office for the dreaded mission report. Naruto was holding small boulders running up the Hokage's tower steps. He was struggling and didn't know how this increased his speed, but wasn't complaining unless he wanted Anko have another dodging session with him, which he hated. Naruto had finally reached the top. Okay, Naru-chan, enough training for today. What do you want to do? Anko said. Naruto dropped the boulder and almost fell over. Can we see if any of my friends can play? He said. Sure. Anko said. Man, I can't believe they all are training now, Naruto said. Don't start that, Naru-chan, we can do something else, Anko said. They walked in the house and saw Yugo sleeping on the couch. Oh, I know there is a new shop, the guy who owns it has a daughter my age, can we go there? Naruto said. Anko looked at Yugo and shook her head. Sure, come on. They then walked the house. Arriving at the shop, Naruto ran in. Anko followed behind at a calm walk. Naruto ran up to the counter. Hello, Tenten, he said. Tenten looked up from her book. Hi, she said. You remember me, right? Naruto asked. She looked at him. You're that Naruto kid, right? She asked. Yup, this is my cousin Anko, he responded. Hey, what all do you sell? Anko said. Weapons. Any type of weapon you want, my Otusan can make it. Scrolls mostly blank, but we sometimes get useful ones, and we sometimes get rare weapons also, Tenten said. Nice. Do you sell any jutsu books or scrolls? Anko asked. I think we have a few. We don't usually get them, so when we do they sell pretty high, Tenten said, walking to the back. She came back with her Otusan. So you're looking for a jutsu book or scrolls? He asked. Yes, I need more jutsus to train him with, she said, pointing to Naruto. Okay, I'll see what we have. Tenten, why don't you go play? He said. Okay, Otusan. Tenten led Naruto through the shop to the back and out to their private yard. It's not big, but it works for me, she said. Naruto looked around. This is great. What do you want to play? Naruto asked. Usually I'm by myself, so I just practice so I can meet Tsunade like that one-eyed guy said, Tenten said. Oh well, we can train a little or play a game, Naruto said. Tenten thought. I know, let's see who can hit the most targets, she said. Naruto and Tenten started to run around the yard throwing Tenten's practice kunais that her Otusan gave her. An hour later, Anko and Tenten's Otusan came back there. Wow, she is good, Anko said. I know, I don't know how she does it. She can hit any target she wants, he said. Has she had any training? Anko asked. Nope. Her cousin was a kunoichi, but she died on a mission, he replied. Oh well, she should think about getting proper training, because although she is good at throwing weapons, the way she throws them she should hit only half at most, Anko said. Oh, so why does she hit them all? He asked. I have no clue, but I know someone who might. I'll send her over. Genki, Anko said. Okay, well, send them by, Genki said. I will. Naru-chan, time to go. Anko said. 2 months later, Yugo finally made her way to Tenten's shop. Hello, I'm looking for Tenten, she said. Genki looked up. And who might you be and what business do you have with my daughter? He asked. Oh well, I'm Yugo, weapons expert of the Anbu, and I was told by Anko that I should come over here and check out her when I get time. From what Anko told me, I think I might be able to help her, Yugo said. Genki looked at her. Hold on a minute. He went down to the boiler room. He looked around and saw it was clean and that Tenten was using the room as her personal training area again. Tenten, what have I told you about using the boiler room as a training area? He said. She stopped her training. I know, Otusan, I could get hurt. The boiler room is not for my personal use but for weapon making. But I know everything in this room like the back of my hand, and I already finished my work and cleaned it, so what's so bad about me using it for training? Besides, I'm already getting stronger by working down here, at least I should be able to get faster also, she said. He looked at her. Fine, I can already see you're going to use it anyway, no use in stopping you, just be careful. Now someone is here to see you, he said. The two walked back up to the shop and saw Yugo. Yes, you wanted to see me? She asked. Yugo looked at her. Yes, I hear you have an incredible ability, can you show me? She asked. Sure, follow me. Tenten led her out to her personal training area in the back. Well, you ready? Tenten asked. Yes, Yugo said. Tenten picked up a kunai, senbon, and shuriken and closed her eyes and jumped and threw them. Each one landed dead on target. See, I always hit my target, Tenten said. Yugo nodded. What about a moving target? She said. Huh? Tenten asked. I want you to try to hit me while I'm moving, Yugo said. Are you sure you could get hurt? Tenten asked. Yes, trust me, I think I know why you can't miss, Yugo said. If you say so. Tenten then picked up some more weapons and waited until Yugo said go. Okay, you can start when you're ready, Yugo said. Tenten closed her eyes and mentally focused on where Yugo was. When she opened her eyes, Yugo was running around the yard. Tenten jumped and spent upside down and threw the 3 weapons. All 3 was blocked by Yugo. How was that? Tenten asked. I'm curious, did the weapons go where you threw then or where you wanted them to go? Yugo asked. Huh, if I throw them, won't they go where I want them to go? Tenten asked, confused. Not all the time. When you threw the weapons, did you throw them at where I was when you saw me? Tenten nodded. But you wanted them to go where I was going. Tenten nodded again. If I'm correct, your cousin is Aoi, Yugo said. Yes, how did you know? Tenten asked. She was on my genin team. We also became Anbu together. And she also had a Kekkei Genkei that allowed her to hit any target she wanted. You have it, and at an unusual age. Usually one doesn't develop it until you are in danger, Yugo said. So I have a Kekkei Genkei, how do I train it? Tenten asked. Well, I don't know how I don't have a Kekkei Genkei, but I know that you still have it activated, Yugo said. What, how, and how do I deactivate it? Tenten asked. Pull the chakra from your eyes to deactivate it, Yugo said. Tenten did as told and her eyes went from a sandy color to chocolate brown. Okay, do you know where I can train it and what's it called? Tenten asked. Well, I can ask a few favors to get you trained properly, and it's called throwing eye, Yugo said. Okay, thank you, Tenten said. Don't bother now, I have to go. Also, you should train on throwing without it active. Here is a scroll on the proper way to throw objects, Yugo said, tossing her a scroll, then leaving. Yugo arrived at the Hyuga compound a few hours later. I need to speak to Hiyashi, she told the guard. Do you have an appointment? The guard asked. No, she replied. Well, you will have to schedule one, the guard said. Look, unless you want to end up in the hospital, go get Hiyashi, she told him. What's going on? It's late and my daughters are sleeping, Hiyashi said. Hiyashi, I need to talk to you, she said. About what? I'm busy at the moment, Hiyashi said. Yugo looked around. I can't say here, anyone could be listening, she said. Hiyashi nodded. I'll give you 5 minutes, then you will have to leave so I can get back to my work, he said. That's long enough, she told him. They arrived in his office. I need a favor, she said immediately. What kind? He asked. Special training, Yugo said. Hiyashi raised an eyebrow. You know I can't train Naruto even if I wanted to, he said. No, not for Naruto. You know that new weapons shop that opened last month, she asked. Yay, what about it? Hiyashi asked. Well, the owner has a daughter, she was cut off. I know all that, get to the point, he said. Right. Her mother was Aoi and she has her dujutsu and doesn't know how to control it. She didn't even know she had it activated until I told her. And as you know, the throwing eye is similar to the Byakugan where they can see all around themselves but they can't see chakra points, instead they see targets, which gives the user unbelievable aim, Yugo said. Hiyashi listened. I see why you came to me, but I'm afraid I can't help as much as I would like. My hands are tied. I'm already pushing it with the security I'm giving Naruto, and if I start to train this girl it would push my authority too far, both with the clan elders and village elders, and we both knows what happens if that would happen, he said. I know, but who said you have to train her or even know she was being trained? Yugo asked. I'm listening, Hiyashi said. Well, she is a year older than Hinata. They could become friends and train together at Tenten's house. She has a private area she trains at. Also, I'm sure Neji could use a friend outside the Hyuga clan, Yugo said. I'll see what I can do. He then went into his drawer. But for now, give her this scroll. It will explain about dujutsus, how to activate and deactivate them, how you get one, and basic ways to train them, he said. Okay, thanks. I just hope the Uchihas don't hear about this for a while, Yugo said. Yes, me too. But that's one thing that I can do, is prevent the Uchihas from getting their hands on her. The elders don't want the Uchihas to think they can match us. That's why they have yet to do anything about my protection of Naruto. They think with him being Hinata's friend it could help us, Hiyashi said. I figured that much when your elders allowed them to be friends without saying anything, but I won't allow him to be used by anyone, even his friends, Yugo said. I know I am keeping them away from Hinata as much as possible, he said. Good. Yugo then left. A week later, Hiyashi, Hinata, and Neji walked into the weapon shop. Go look around for anything you might like to try out, Hiyashi told Hinata and Neji. The two walked off and started to look around. Neji didn't like the main family as much as he did when he was a kid because of what happened to his Otusan, but after being explained and seeing the letter his Otusan wrote, he tried to forgive them. His mainly only talked with Hinata and hated the elders with everything he was worth, and the two had vowed to remove that seal any way they can. To Hinata, Neji was like an older brother. He helped her when she needed it, trained with her when he was available, and even went with her on those boring gatherings every heir had to attend. As the two walked down the rows of weapons, Tenten came up to them. Can I help you find anything? She asked. We are just looking right now, Neji said. We are trying to find weapons we like, Hinata said. Maybe I can help, Tenten said. You know your chakra is going to your eyes, Neji said. Neji, be nice, Hinata said. What, I'm just letting her know, Neji said. I'm trying to learn how to control it, but the scroll I have is hard to understand, Tenten said. Maybe we can help, Hinata said. A year and 6 months have went by and Naruto was trained hard like always. Tenten also trained hard with Neji and Hinata to learn how to control her Kekkei Genkai. She had to start from the basics of chakra control, but owning a weapons shop meant that sometimes they got advanced chakra control scrolls, so within a year she was able to increase her control on her chakra to the point where she could walk up walls and on water thanks to a scroll left behind Aa Junin, who came back a few hours later to get it, leaving Tenten with plenty of time to copy it like she did every scroll for her own personal use. Tenten, Hinata, Neji, Kiba, Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Hana, Naruto, and Shino all became good friends during that time also. The most shocking thing to Kurenai was that during that entire time Naruto didn't get any extra scrolls and he had learned everything they had to teach him, so they just worked on speed and chakra control. Tenten and Neji had started the academy and the rest was starting in a few months. Naruto was walking around with Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo as they was having family time since lately at least two of them was always away on a mission. During those missions the assassinations on Naruto doubled but was always stopped. This infuriated Danzo to no end. As they walked away from the weekly ramen lunch a scroll dropped and hit Naruto on the head. Naruto picked it up rubbing his head and opened it. Inside the scroll was to their surprise two scrolls, one was for Rasengan and the second was chakra paper and instructions on how to start elemental training. The confusing thing about the second gift, as they started to call them, was that there was a total of 9 chakra papers and starting instructions, and each had a name on them. After checking around to make sure no one saw the scroll being dropped, they decided to give the chakra paper and instructions to whose name was on each scroll. After locating everyone and delivering the gifts, they continued on their family afternoon. They decided to go to the park. Just as they was passing the last building, 3 more scrolls fell down, each with the name, Hinata, Tenten, and Ino on them. Kurenai picked them up and decided to deliver them and catch up later. Kurenai arrived back at the park 10 minutes later. So what was in the scrolls? Anko asked while watching Naruto play around. They was beginner medic scrolls, Kurenai said. Who would give them medic scrolls? Yugo asked. I'm guessing the same person who gave Naru-chan the Rasengan and them those elemental papers and training instructions, Kurenai said. Which would also be the same person who gave Naru-chan all those scrolls in the past, Anko said. I don't think they are connected. Well, at least not in the way we think, Yugo said. What do you mean? Kurenai asked. Well, I'm thankful just like you are to whoever has been giving us those scrolls, but who would know Naru-chan that also knows medics, all his friends' names, the exact level that he is while we are training him, what size clothes he wears for those outfits he got on his birthday, and the Rasengan, which is as far as I know is only known by the Yondaime and he is long dead, Yugo said. You're right, it might be more than we can figure out, or might not, Anko said. You're right. I mean, if I remember correct, the Yondaime showed all his jutsus to his sensei and his students, so that would leave Kakashi and Jiraiya. As for medics, the medical field has been trying to get a Hyuga and Yamanaka for as long as we've been alive, and bringing in Tenten might have been a way to get Hinata and Ino. The clothes could have been a lucky guess. The only thing we need to do is find out who would want to help Naru-chan without being caught, Kurenai said. Which leads us to the same spot we are in now. The council has literally forbade anyone from helping Naru-chan without being punished, so it could be anyone in this village, not to mention both senins tried to adopt him at least 5 within the first 2 years of his life, Yugo said. I just say forget about it, eventually the person will have to come out in the open, we just have to be patient and silently thank them, Anko said. I guess, at least with their help Naru-chan is easily the genin level right now, Kurenai said. And that's all that matters, Anko said. Tsunade was relaxing in a bathhouse with Shizune. So what should we do now? Tsunade asked. Well, we could pay a visit to the village, Shizune replied. Why? Tsunade asked. Shizune shrugged. You have to have someone you want to see, Shizune said. Tsunade thought, it would be good to see Minato's Gaki. She thought, yes, there is someone I want to see, she said. So why not go at least for a week? Shizune asked. How about we go back when he becomes a genin? Tsunade said. Why then? Shizune asked. Because it would have been 10 years since I lived in that village then, Tsunade said. Jiraiya was standing a little ways away from the village. He was debating if he should go in or not. He knew he could just walk in and then leave if he wanted. Sometimes being a senin has its perks, he thought. He started to walk towards the village, at least to meet Minato's Gaki. He thought, maybe I should tell him about the Namikaze tradition of showing up the Uchiha, he added as a second thought. Kurenai walked into the kitchen to see Naruto trying to burst balloons with his chakra. She smiled and sat down at the table with Yugo and Anko. You two think we should tell him who his Otusan is? Anko asked when Kurenai sat down. I see no problem with it, Yugo said. Yea, he kept the secret of who his Kasen is to himself. Knowing who his Kasen is will make him work even harder, Kurenai said. Okay, then it's an agreement, we will tell him, Anko said. Naru-chan, come sit down, Yugo said. What's wrong, Kasen? He asked. Nothing, we have some things to tell you, Kurenai said. What's that? Naruto asked. First, your Otusan is the Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, Yugo said. What, really? Naruto yelled. Yup, the taijutsu I helped you learn was his first creation. That jutsu you're learning now was one of his most famous. As you get older you will learn more of his jutsus, Kurenai. And like with your Kasen, we expect you try and be a better shinobi and keep this to yourself, Anko said. Oh, I will, Kasen, I will be the greatest ever, Naruto said. We have no doubt you will, Yugo said. There is something else, Kurenai said. What's that? Naruto asked. The reason why most of the civilians and some of the shinobis hate you, Kurenai said. Why is that? Naruto asked, looking down. Because to beat Kyuubi, your Otusan had to seal it away and he could only use someone he knew would be strong enough to hold it back, Kurenai said. So that's why everyone hates me? Naruto asked. Well, not everyone, but yes, Yugo said. Thanks for telling me, Naruto said. Naru-chan, how do you feel knowing this? Anko asked. Naruto looked down for a minute, then looked up. I don't care what everyone else says, I have my Kasens and friends and that's all I need. If anyone else has a problem with me, then screw them, he said. The three smiled. That's our Naru-chan, Kurenai said. Now I have even more to work for. I have my Otusan and Kasen's legacy to protect and to show everyone I'm me and not the nine-tailed kitsune, he said. We expect you to work hard, Kurenai said. I will, Naruto said. Good. Now I think it's time for you to take your first steps out into the village without our protection, Yugo said. Really? Naruto asked. Yup, you have earned it, Anko said. Here, go buy some ramen for dinner, Kurenai said, giving him some money. Naruto happily ran towards Ichiraku Ramen. On his way there he ran, literally and quite hard, into someone. Sorry, he said, getting up. Watch where you're going, he heard. Naruto finally stood up and looked the boy in the eyes. I said sorry, he repeated. And I said watch where you're going, now get out my way, he said. I don't know who you think you are, but you don't demand nothing from me, Naruto said. Move out my way or I will make you, the boy said. Well, you're going to have to make me, Naruto said. Fine. The boy then charged at Naruto, who got into his snake stance and waited. The boy swung. As soon as he was about to hit Naruto, he ducked and did a windmill kick to his stomach. The boy fell back and got back up and charged again, this time with more awareness than before. He punched at Naruto again, but when Naruto ducked, he quickly kicked his legs out from under him, making Naruto fall. Naruto did a spin on his back, raising to his hand with his legs in the air, and did an upside-down spin kick to the boy's chest and flipped right side up. They was about to charge again but was stopped by an Inu Anbu. Both of you leave now or I will turn you in for fighting, he said. Naruto brushed himself off and continued to walk to Ichiraku Ramen. He ordered the food from his friend Ayame and left. He got home and saw Anko and Kurenai in the forest of death training, so he walked inside. Yugo looked up from the book she was reading. Took you long enough get lost, she asked. Of course, Naruto, not being good at lying, told the truth. No, I got into a fight with some boy my age, he said. How did that happen? Yugo asked. Well, I was running and turned a corner and we ran into each other. I said sorry, but he said, watch where I'm going, and we argued about him not being able to demand me to do anything. Then he attacked me, trying to force me to move. Of course I defended myself, he replied. So how did the fight go? Yugo asked. Well, it was easy compared to fighting you, but he did get a lucky hit in because I was too careless and hungry, Naruto said. Is that so? You need to train on fighting while you're hungry, Yugo said. But Kasen, you always says a shinobi never goes into battle hungry, Naruto said. I know, Naru-chan, but sometimes it's unavoidable, so you need to learn how to fight while hungry, Yugo said. Jiraiya was walking through the village. He had put a genjutsu on himself until he was ready to reveal himself to others. He was walking away from the fight Naruto just had and was impressed that he was able to combine snake style and Wing Chun style. He then walked off when the battle was broken up since he knew where he lived at. He walked to the training ground to see if anyone was there and found a girl there training by herself and walked up to "Hello there," he said. She looked at him. "Who are you?" she asked. "That don't matter right now, but I was passing by and couldn't help but admire how you didn't miss one target," he said. "I'm training to be a weapons mistress. So far I'm better than every genin," she replied. "That's outstanding. Well, I'll leave you to your training." He then walked off. He continued to walk around the village looking at different things. "So far I found a kunoichi who has the throwing eye but is practicing to be a weapons master." He then ran into a boy. "Are you okay?" he asked. "No, not really. I just found out I can't use chakra," the boy said. "Can't use chakra?" Jiraiya asked. "Yes, I went to the hospital to find out why I couldn't access my chakra and they said I have a rare disease that prevents my body from making chakra. I only have enough to do basic things," he said. "I see. Was you trying to be a ninja?" Jiraiya asked. "Yes, but now I don't know," he replied. "Hold on a minute, I might be able to help. Go to the Hokage and ask for Guy Maida. Tell him you need him to teach you taijutsu because you can't use chakra," Jiraiya said. "Thank you, sir." The boy then ran off. Jiraiya shook his head and checked to make sure that his genjutsu didn't fade off. After making sure he was still under a genjutsu, he continued to walk. He decided to go to visit Naruto and the three kunoichis. He arrived at the house faster than he expected and knocked on the door. Anko answered the door. "What do you want? We are eating dinner, so make it snappy," she said. "Who is that, Anko?" Yugo yelled. "Some old guy," Anko yelled back. "I don't want to be discovered just yet. Can I please step inside and I will take my genjutsu off," he said. Anko looked at him for a few minutes. "Make it quick, and if you're not someone important you're going to find yourself in the hospital," she said. Jiraiya thought for a minute. "Good deal," he said. He walked in and waited until Anko shut the door and took the genjutsu off. Anko looked at him for a minute. "You're my Tem-sensei teammate, ain't you?" she asked. "Unfortunately I am," he said. "Yugo, Kurenai, get in here," Anko yelled. The two walked in the living room. "What, Anko?" they said. "Look who decided to visit," she said, pointing to him. They looked at him. "What took so long to come visit him, pervert?" Kurenai asked. "I wanted to wait until the right time," he responded. "So basically you wanted to spy on females?" Yugo asked. "Well, yay, but I also had my reasons for not coming back and they didn't involve him. I didn't leave on good terms with Sensei or the council," Jiraiya said. Yay, my food is getting cold," Anko said, walking in the kitchen followed by the other three. "I get no respect," Jiraiya thought. "Kasen, who is the Jiji?" Naruto asked. "Jiraiya, your Otusan sensei," Anko said. "So that's what Minato looked like as a 7-year-old, Jiraiya said. "Wow, Gaki, and I thought you looked like him as a baby," he added. Naruto just blinked, then shrugged and continued eating. "You have anything to teach me, Jiji?" he asked. Jiraiya's sweat dropped. "Acts just like him he said. "Actually, he acts more like Kushina," Kurenai said. "Well, now that I think about it, I do have some things to teach you, but I'm only here for 6 months, so you better learn fast," Jiraiya said. "What you got to teach me?" Naruto asked. "You will see, but if you can learn everything in 6 months, I'll give you the summoning contract to sign," Jiraiya said. "I was going to have him sign the snake contract," Anko said. "The toad is a family contract and Naruto is next in line to take over," Jiraiya said. "Damn, he already learned snake style," Anko said. "Oh, don't worry. Him learning that has nothing to do with the contract. It's a family style, but unfortunately contracts don't work that way," Jiraiya said. "Yay, now I have to find someone else to sign it," Anko said. "I'm sure you will find someone. Now, Gaki, is you going to take the challenge?" Jiraiya asked. Okay, you better be ready to give me the contract in 6 months, Gigi, Naruto said. What, you're so confident you don't even know what I have to teach you, Jiraiya said. I don't care, I'll learn it in 6 months, Naruto said. Okay, let's make a bet. If you don't learn it all in 6 months, you have to do whatever I saw until you finish learning it, and if you do, not only will you get the contract, but you will also get 3 scrolls full of jutsus I collected during my travels, Jiraiya said. Deal, Gigi, Naruto said. Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo just smiled and shook their heads, knowing from experience that Naruto never lost a bet. You know, I think it's only fair to warn you that he has never lost a bet, Yugo warned. Don't worry, there is no way he can learn everything I have to teach him in 6 months, Jiraiya said. Okay, but you have been warned, Yugo said. 6 months later, Naruto was standing in front of Jiraiya with Anko, Yugo, and Kurenai behind him, all grinning at Jiraiya. Told you he never loses a bet, Yugo said. He not only completed the Rasengan in a month, but increased his speed, strength, and control threefold in 6 months, Jiraiya said, amazed. I also completed that style you wanted me to learn with my rod, finished basic element training, learned to increase my senses, learned your taijutsu style, finished sealing for Chunins, and learned to talk with Kyuubi, all like you wanted in 6 months, Naruto said. I know, I was there. I still can't believe you did all that in 6 months, Jiraiya said. For some odd reason, things he can't do always get done if he have a bet on it, Anko said. Well, as promised, here is the Toad contract, hurry and sign it. After Naruto signed the contract, it vanished. Now don't summon a toad until I officially come back to the village. Here is your 3 scrolls, one is full of lighting jutsus, one with wind jutsus, and one with water jutsus. I collected those 3 types because they are the rarest to have in Konoha, and since you're a wind type, you will put that scroll to good use, but you should try and learn each element, Jiraiya said, then vanished. So Kasen want to learn some jutsus? Naruto asked. No jutsus until after your first year at the academy, you know the rules, Kurenai said, taking the scrolls from him. Yugo took the lighting scroll. Tenten is a lighting element she could use to learn some of these jutsus, she said. Ain't Hinata water? Anko asked. Yes, but it wouldn't be fair to let Hinata learn some but not Naru-chan when they are the same age, Kurenai said. Kurenai, Anko and Yugo walked into the Hokage's office. Can I help you? He said, looking up from his work. Yes, why do you keep trying to send all 3 of us out on missions knowing there are people trying to assassinate Naru-chan? Anko asked. I do missions based on skills needed for them, the third said. So you are putting our son in danger for a mission to get done by one of us when anyone else can do it just as good? Kurenai asked. It's not as it seems, the missions you are sent on are missions that fits your skills, the third said. How? Kurenai asked. The Hokage sighed. Look, all those missions was asked for you specifically. I have tried to make it so at least one of you are still here, but with the council it's hard, he said. What do you mean? Yugo asked. Well, the elders have been trying to get rid of you 3 since you adopted him, so Danzo can take him and train him how he wants, the third told. You let them dictate what missions we get? Anko asked. I have no choice on some of the missions, and they know things about the village that under no circumstance can get out, the third said. Kakashi was walking around bored. He walked past the ramen place and saw Naruto, Tenten, Hinata, Neji, and Hanabi and walked in. Hey Naruto, he said. Naruto turned around. Hello Kakashi, Naruto said. How is training? Kakashi asked. Great. I even won 3 scrolls full of jutsus off a bet, Naruto said. Nice, Kakashi said. Yup. I let Tenten borrow the scroll with lighting jutsus in it since she is a lighting type, Naruto said. You're a lighting type? Kakashi asked her. Yup. I've been training it for about a year. I think I'm almost done with the basics. Learning lighting is harder than I thought it would be, Tenten said. Kakashi thought for a minute. I'm also a lighting type. I could help you if you want, he said. Really, that's great. You still have that promise to keep, Tenten said. I will, he replied. Good, because I have been learning medics also, Tenten said. That's good. Hey, I have an idea. You all want to learn a jutsu? He asked. Yes, they all answered except Hanabi because she was too young to learn jutsus. Okay, well, Tenten, since you're a lighting type, one will teach you the Reikiri. It's an S-ranked jutsu and extremely difficult to control, and if you don't have a lighting element you have no chance of learning it. The rest I will teach. The Chidori. It's a watered-down version of the Reikiri, powerful but easier to control and learn, Kakashi said. How much powerful is the Reikiri then, the Chidori? Naruto asked. Well, in terms of power, the Reikiri is 1,000 times more powerful, Kakashi said. Wow, that's a lot of power. Will I also learn the Chidori? Tenten asked. If you want, but under no circumstance are you to attempt to teach anyone the Reikiri without my permission, Kakashi said. Okay, I promise, Tenten said. Good. Now, in order to use them right, you all need to become faster, Kakashi said. How fast? Naruto asked. Well, in terms of shinobi styles, you need the speed of someone who is taijutsu expert, he replied. How do we get that fast? Hinata asked. Well, there is the natural way of constant training, or you can use weights, which is what I recommend if you plan on learning the jutsu by the time you become genins, he said. Okay, I can provide the weights, we have an extra supply of them, Tenten said. Good, wear them at all times unless you're sleeping or showering, and don't forget one day a week go without the weights on so your body can get used to them, and when they start to get too light put more weight on, Kakashi said. He then left. What about Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, Hana, and Shino? Hinata asked. Well, I can give them weights also, Tenten said. I'll ask about them learning the jutsu also, Naruto said. Hinata-chan, when can I learn jutsus? Hanabi asked. I'll teach you some when you're older and have more chakra, Hinata said. Promise? Hanabi asked. Promise, Hanabi-chan, Hinata said. Naruto was sitting in a classroom with all his friends. Ino and Hinata was talking about something. He wasn't too interested in their girl talk, he was busy watching Shikamaru and Shino play Go. Naruto didn't understand the game, even after Shikamaru explained it to him enough for him to be able to explain it to anyone else. So instead he completely stopped even trying to play it against Shikamaru and only played Choji in it. To Naruto's amazement, the only one ever getting close to beat Shikamaru in it was Shino. Everyone else in the room was quietly talking with their friends until there was a loud screeching noise that interrupted everyone's quiet time. They looked up and saw a bunch of girls following Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto scolded and rolled his eyes, the same thing that Ino and Hinata did. Shikamaru, Choji, and Shino didn't make no outward motion as if they was annoyed by the girls or not. Kiba just stared at the different girls' chests, comparing them to the others. Sasuke completely ignored the girls and walked into the room. He looked around and his eyes locked with Naruto, who happened to be glaring at him. The temperature in the room dropped a few degrees and everyone took notice. The girls backed away from Sasuke while Naruto's friends raised an eyebrow at the normally calm and easy-going kid. They didn't understand what got him like this so quick, as they all saw him get beat by the villagers at one point in the past and he kept smiling like nothing happened. Sasuke squared his shoulders at Naruto, who responded, planting his feet firmly on the floor and getting on the edge of his seat. One girl, a pink-haired girl who was as confused as everyone else, stepped forward. Hey, who do you think you are glaring at Sasuke-kun like that? He didn't do anything to you, she yelled. The situation was diffused a little as the temperature rose to normal levels some, but not completely, as neither Naruto or Sasuke was going to give the other the satisfaction of acknowledging her by refocusing their eyes on her. She got pissed at being ignored and marched up to Naruto. Hey mister, don't you ignore me, she yelled. She pulled her fist back and was about to swing at him, but her arm was stopped. What's your problem with my friend? Hinata asked with Ino glaring at her. What's his problem with Sasuke-kun? She countered. That's between him and the Uchiha and have nothing to do with us, so don't interfere or we will interfere, Ino said. Like I'm scared, she replied. Do you have any idea who we are? Hinata asked. Should I? She asked. Yes, you're talking to both the Hyuga and Yamanaka heirs, Hinata said. I see, she said. You should learn not to get involved in things that don't involve you, Ino said. What the hell is going on? Iruka yelled, coming in the room, effectively ending the tension in the room. Nothing, just a misunderstanding, the pink-haired girl said. Well, Sakura, find your seat, Iruka said. Once she was seated, Iruka began. Okay, I'm Iruka and I'm your instructor for the next 4 years, and this is my assistant Mizuki, he said. Well, everyone is here, Iruka, Mizuki said. Good, now anyone who knows any jutsus come up to the front, Iruka said. Both Sasuke and Naruto stood up at the same time and shot the other. My jutsu is superior, look. Hinata and Ino just shook their heads and walked to the front, pulling Naruto along. After everyone was in the front, okay, who first? Iruka asked. I'll go first. Sasuke went through some hand signs. Kaden, fire dragon, he said. He turned towards and blew out a dragon that looked like rubies as it flew out the window. He smirked and walked past Naruto. Beat that loser, he whispered. I'll go next, Naruto said. Okay, Iruka said. Naruto stepped up and started to gather chakra in his hand. He held it out in front of him and started to form a Rasengan. Once it was completed, everyone looked shocked. How do you know that jutsu? Iruka asked. Naruto shrugged. Practice. How do you learn any jutsu? He replied. So beautiful, a girl who was sitting in the front of the class said, getting the best look at it. Naruto ended the jutsu and smirked at Sasuke and went to his seat. Hinata did a simple shadow clone. Ino also did a simple clone. Shikamaru took over Iruka with his shadow. Shino did a bug clone. The rest who knew jutsus didn't bother to get up. After the first class, Iruka took the class outside for class sparring. We will have light sparring to see where each individual is in taijutsu and who needs the most work, he said. Any volunteers? Mizuki asked. For some reason everyone stepped back, leaving Sasuke and Naruto to go first. Well, looks like we have our challengers, Iruka said. The two walked to the small boundary and didn't even wait to be told to begin before they attacked each other. They started at a speed that impressed the instructors and most of the students. The ones with no training couldn't keep up with them. They blocked and parred each other first, getting a feel for the other. Then they started to get serious. Naruto got into his snake stance, Sasuke got into his usual Uchiha stance. They attacked each other again, this time not holding back. Naruto swung, which Sasuke ducked under and kicked at Naruto. He redirected the kick with his other hand and did a spin kick. Sasuke flipped back, barely being missed by the kick, and flung 2 kunais directly at Naruto, but they was stopped by 2 senbons that was flying at Sasuke. The two jumped back and took out a scroll and bit their thumb and swiped blood across the scroll, pulling out a katana and rod which he named Red Punisher. Everyone on the sidelines was looking at the fight with different emotions. Those who knew Naruto wasn't surprised at all, but those who didn't was really surprised. Those who knew Sasuke, which was basically everyone, wasn't surprised at his skills but more by Naruto keeping up with him. But unknown to all of them that the other kids started to come over and watch the match. The two fighters stood looking in each other's eyes. Sasuke had his Sharingan blazing. Naruto's normal cool welcoming sky blue eyes was now cold and deadly and dark. They charged each other with their weapon and exchanged powerful blows. Each blow produced a spark and loud clank. Naruto swung his rod around his body and brought it down with all his might on the spot that Sasuke was standing at. Sasuke quickly jumped to the side and went airborne and came down where Naruto was with the tip of his katana pointed down, ready to put it completely through Naruto. Naruto rolled under Sasuke just as he was about to hit. Sasuke started to reach for all his power. Slowly and unknowingly sparks of lighting started to form from his chakra around his body and katana. Naruto similarly reached for all his power and slowly his wind element started to infuse with his chakra and around his rod. Not long after, both had their respective elements whipping around them and their weapons. Naruto's hair and coat waved in the wind as it went around him. Sasuke's hair dropped down from the lighting instead of sticking up like normal. The two charged again. Naruto grabbed the end of his rod and swung it at Sasuke, who used his katana sheath to block the rod and came around with his katana. Being that he was so far away, all Naruto had to do was lean back a little and the katana completely missed. Sasuke then jumped in the air and brought his katana down in an overhead swing that Naruto barely dodged, but not before he was cut on his cheek. The rest of the momentum blew Naruto back in chunks of rock and debris into the air. Naruto, while in the air, flipped and stuck the end of his robe in the ground and used that as a spring, and after his feet touched the ground he was launched at Sasuke feet first. Sasuke, not having enough time to move, brought his arms over his face to block the kick. Naruto used right foot to push back away from Sasuke after he kicked him, then flipped back into a flip kick that nailed Sasuke in the chin. Naruto then ran at Sasuke as soon as he landed and jumped with his rod over his head, and with the help of his element brought it down, barely missing a dodging Sasuke, which resulted in the ground where Sasuke was to be broken up and sending small pebbles into the air. Naruto stood up and turned towards Sasuke with his robe behind him in his right hand and his left out in front of him waiting. Sasuke stood up and slowly brought his katana around his body in a circular motion, slowly gathering up some his element. He did this a few times before he made a loud yell and brought it down at lightning speed, sending a wave of lighting at Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened when he saw the power gathering in the attack and quickly started to spin his rod in front of him, trying his best to get enough power to match the lighting coming his way. At the last minute, a shield of wind formed and blocked the lighting, causing the two attacks to cancel each other. There was a bright flash, and when the light died down, both Sasuke and Naruto was leaning on their weapon for support, but neither would give up until the other was clearly beaten. Sasuke put his katana in his sheath and pulled both to the left side of his body and bent to the side so that Naruto wasn't able to see his katana handle, getting ready for his final attack. Naruto stood straight up and pulled his rod out of the ground and slowly spent it around his head, gathering up power for what he knew would be his last attack. After he gathered all the power he had left, he dropped his right arm behind him with his rod in it and charged at Sasuke. Sasuke charged at Naruto at the same time. Once the two was close enough, they both unleashed their strongest attack. Naruto flung his entire body, bringing his rod overhead and down at Sasuke, who responded, pulling his katana out with lightning quick speed at Naruto in an across-the-body slash. When both landed on the ground, they stood up as if they knew they won. Then unexpectedly both their weapons fell out their hand and then fell face first onto the ground. By this time the entire academy was out watching, and everyone was amazed by the power and skill they both had. Even Naruto's friends didn't know he had that much power. Even Naruto and Sasuke didn't know they had that much power. Everyone just stared, no one moving. The sound of the two bodies hitting the ground snapped some of them out of their trance. Naruto, Sasuke, Hinata and Sakura yelled, running over to the respective boys, followed by everyone else. Mizuki, get Sasuke, we need to get them to the hospital. I'll take Naruto, Iruka said. Right. Mizuki quickly grabbed Sasuke and the two Chunins left for the hospital. That was the most amazing battle ever, a random academy student said. Hinata, did you know Naruto had that much power? Ino asked. No, I don't think he knew he had that much power, Hinata said. Well, good thing I was able to record this. I'll have copies for everyone by tomorrow, the class nerd said. No, we need at least 3 copies right now, Neji said, walking up. Well, I recorded it also, someone else said. We need 2 more copies, one for both Naruto and Sasuke and another to show the Hokage, Neji said. We have one, someone yelled. Neji looked at him. Are you even an academy student? He asked. No, me and my friends just happened to be looking for something interesting to record when they started their fight. You can have these copies, he said, giving them to Neji. I'll get one from that guy when he finish recording them, he ended. Good, let's go. Sakura grabbed Sasuke's katana. We need to get to the hospital, Hinata said. Then everyone in their class plus Tenten and Neji ran to the hospital. Neji gave Sakura a tape to take to Sasuke's room and followed Hinata to Naruto's room. They reached the room and was surprised at how injured Naruto was. In Sasuke's room, Sakura and everyone who came with her was just as surprised. Soon the Hokage, Kurenai, Anko, Yugo, Fugaku, Makoto, and Itachi all came into the hospital. The Hokage told everyone to come into one room. After everyone was in one room except Naruto and Sasuke, he started talking. What happened that got these two in the hospital, both with critical conditions? He asked. Well, I don't know why, but the two don't like each other, and when we first arrived in class there was tension between them, Sakura said. When we went outside for class spars they went first, and well, it's better if you just see it, Hinata said as Neji handed the copy for the Hokage's records to him. You recorded it? He asked, taking the tape. Well, no, but someone looking to pass the time did, Neji said. I see. The Hokage put the tape into the recorder and pressed play. An hour later the battle ended and left everyone who didn't see it in shock, and everyone who saw it was still amazed by their power. When did Sasuke fully develop his Sharingan? Fugaku asked. This morning he didn't. What I want to know is when did he do elemental training for lighting? He had just finished basic fire elemental training last night, and now he looks to have almost complete, if not complete, control of lighting element, Itachi said. That was one of the most exciting fights I have seen in a while, and I didn't even get to see it in person, Anko said. How is Naru-chan able to control his wind element to such a degree? He only just finished basic wind training a few days ago, Kurenai said. I don't think they did that knowingly, Yugo said. What do you mean? Makoto asked. She is right, with shinobi as young as them when you're still learning. Sometimes if you fight someone who you think can match you based off skill, they will sometimes unlock hidden potential. In this case we saw that they both have potential to be extremely powerful, the third said. So Sasu-chan doesn't know he unlocked his lighting element? Makoto asked. Well, he do, but when they unlocked it, it went unnoticed by both of them until after the first attack with the increased power, the third said. So what will we do? Kurenai asked. Well, right now we can't do nothing, but I can assure you with this battle both kids might be in danger if Orochimaru gets wind of this, the third said. He wouldn't come near my son or I'll kill him, Makoto said. No, he won't come in the village himself, it would be too dangerous, but he will send agents to try and recruit them, the third said. Well, we don't have to worry about Naru-chan, he knows how to spot a trap or genjutsu a mile away, Anko said. Sasuke is the same. As long as he don't let his anger cloud him, he will be fine and will be able to uncover any trap and genjutsu, Itachi said. Well, now I bet you all want to get to the kids so you can go. I'm going to file this tape, the third said, then left. Hey kid, let me get one of those tapes, a guy whispered. The kid making copies of the fight turned around. Okay, here you go, he said, giving the guy a tape. The guy took the tape and vanished. He arrived in Bear Country. Jiraiya, what the hell are you doing now? Tsunade asked as he walked into a casino she was in. I have something you might want to see, he said, showing her the tape. Okay, there are plenty of TVs around, pop it in, she said. An hour later everyone in the casino was amazed by the fight. Are you sure those was the Uchiha and Minato's Gaki? Tsunade asked Jiraiya. Positive, I was there for the entire thing. They are even making tapes of this. You know what that means, right? Jiraiya said. We have to go back to that village before we want to, Tsunade said. No, I was thinking that this kid might be greater than Minato, Jiraiya said. Jiraiya, think about it, we was able to get a copy and we are not even supposed to be in the village. What's stopping Orochimaru and Iwa from getting a copy? Tsunade said, smacking him in the head. Shit, you're right, I don't want to face that council, Jiraiya complained. Stop complaining, Tsunade said. Where is Shizune? Jiraiya asked. At the hotel. Let's go get her, Tsunade said. Jiraiya got the tape and they went to the hotel. Shizune, we need to go, Tsunade said. Go where? She asked. To Konoha, Tsunade said. I thought we wasn't going there until this kid becomes a genin, Shizune said. I know, but after you watch this tape you will understand, Tsunade said. Shizune watched the tape. That kid looks like the Yondaime, she said. It's his kid, that's why we are going back, Jiraiya said. A few days later the three shinobi and Pig was at the gates of Konoha. As soon as they got to the gate, Tsunade and Jiraiya showed their pass while Shizune showed her apprentice for Tsunade badge. The guard opened the gate and the three immediately went to the Hokage's office. Hey sensei, did you miss us? Jiraiya said, opening the door, and the three walked in. The third blinked. What are you doing back? He asked. First off, this is our home village and we can leave and come as we please. Second, have you seen this tape? Tsunade asked, taking the tape from Jiraiya. It reached you too. This can't be good, the third said. That's why we are back. You're too old to do what needs to be done, Tsunade said. Tsunade-sama, you shouldn't talk like that, Shizune said. What, I'm telling the truth, Tsunade said. How long are you staying here? The third asked. Don't know. What we want to know is where he is, Jiraiya said. Hospital still, the third said. Well, let's go. Shizune, you coming to the hospital, pervert? Tsunade asked. I guess hopefully I can delay seeing their faces, Jiraiya said, following Tsunade. Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo was sitting around Naruto's bed, each had their head on the bed trying to sleep. They didn't leave the room since Naruto was put in the hospital. The only thing they left for was to shower, eat, and the bathroom. But they did kick Hinata, Ino, Hana, and Tenten out many times as they tried to stay here as much as they could. Naruto haven't woken up either, which made the three more worried and protective over who came to see him. The door slowly opened and someone stepped in. Being worried for Naruto, extremely tired, and on edge from lack of sleep, all three kunoichis went into their pouch and pulled out a kunai and threw it at the intruding person. The three kunais was met midair by three kunais making a clank, which caused the three kunoichis to turn and look at who it was. You three look like you haven't slept in at least 5 days, Tsunade said. We feel like we haven't slept in 5 days, Anko said. Why don't you go home and get some sleep? Tsunade said. We are not leaving our Naru-chan, Yugo said. Fine. Shizune, you and Jiraiya go get 3 beds for them, Tsunade said. Fine. But know this, I'm not a doctor, so don't expect me to do anything else, Jiraiya said, following Shizune. So can I check him? Tsunade asked, walking closer to Naruto. The three glared at her. Stay away, Kurenai said. Well, you do know I'm a medic and a senin, right? Tsunade asked. I don't care, you could be someone trying to get him while our guard is down, Anko said. Tsunade just sighed. 3 kunoichis who is like a cousin to him. I should have known it wouldn't be easy, she thought. Shizune and Jiraiya came back with the beds. We need to put them to sleep so I can check the gaki, Tsunade whispered. The 3 then vanished and hit a pressure point on the 3 kunoichis, putting them to sleep. They should wake you in a few minutes, but then the comfort of the bed she make they fall asleep, Tsunade said. Just as they got the 3 on the bed they started to wake up, but fell asleep again. Kurenai woke up hours later and found herself in a bed. She bolted up and looked around. Where's Naru-chan? She thought. She saw his bed was empty and started to panic, until he walked out the bathroom. Naru-chan, are you okay? She asked. Yes, cousin, the doctor said I used too much chakra, he replied. Good, now get over here, she replied. Naruto walked over and climbed in Kurenai's bed. As soon as he was on the bed, she hit him in the head. Don't ever scare us like that again, she yelled, waking Yugo and Anko up in the process. Ow, cousin, that hurts, Naruto complained. Serves you right, who gave you permission to be unconscious for a week, Kurenai said. Sorry, I didn't want to be unconscious, he replied. Kurenai, give him a break just this once, Anko said. I see everyone is woke, Tsunade said from the door. Who are you? Naruto asked. I'm Tsunade of the Senins, she said. Orochimaru was sitting in the Akatsuki hide after the entire group was shown the tape on Naruto and Sasuke's fight. That boy is Minato's kid, he also has the nine-tailed kitsune in him, he said. Really? Do you think you can get a hold of him? Pain asked. You do realize with this fight getting out like this, Konoha is going to increase their security to prevent the Yondaime's enemies from getting to his legacy, Orochimaru asked. I just want to know if it's possible, Pain said. As long as my other two teammates are not there I can get him, Orochimaru said. Good, and if the other two Senins are there then come back and we will wait until a better time, Pain said. Hinata, Tenten, Ino, Hana, Kiba, Shino, Shikamaru, and Choji was walking to the hospital to visit Naruto. As they walked they talked about their training and how everything was going. I was thinking, and I don't know about you all, but I'm going to increase my training. I can barely feel my lighting element, Tenten said. I am doing the same thing, Hinata said. Kasen already increased my training 100-fold. Troublesome Naruto just had to get in a fight and unlock his element, Shikamaru said. I have also increased my elemental training. I can't do much to increase my clan training because it takes time to have full command of my partners, Shino said. Kasen also increased our training, Hana said. They walked into Naruto's room. Hey Naruto-san, how are you feeling? Hinata asked. Well, I feel great, but Tsunade won't let me out the hospital even though Tem is already out, Naruto said. Why won't she let you out? Hana asked. Tsunade as in Tsunade of the Senins, Tenten asked. The very same one, someone said from the door. They turned around. It's you, it's really you, the greatest medic and kunoichi ever, Tenten said. Well, I don't know about greatest kunoichi, but I am pretty damn good, Tsunade said. I can't believe I'm meeting a legendary Senin, Tenten said. Well, now that these three are here you can leave Gaki, Tsunade said to Naruto pointing to Ino, Hinata, and Tenten. What, you used me as bait to get them here? Naruto yelled. Yay, what you going to do about it? Tsunade said. Everyone's sweat dropped. Come on Naru-chan, you need a bath, Anko said. Everyone left but Ino, Hinata, and Tenten. Now you three show me what you learned from those medic scrolls the Gaki told me about, Tsunade said. Iruka was in the Hokage's office. You wanted to see me? He asked. Yes, we need to increase our academy training. For now on don't spend so much time on book stuff. The entire academy will now focus on getting kids who are not from shinobi families caught up with those from shinobi families, the third said. So you want me to focus on everyone who is not from a shinobi background? Iruka asked. Not just you, every instructor will do it, the third said. Jiraiya stood outside the council office. He knew he had to go in there, but that didn't mean he wanted to. Besides, Tsunade wasn't here, so he still had time to make up an excuse. He looked around and didn't see anyone and started to sneak away. Where do you think you're going, pervert? He heard. Damn it, Tsunade, how is it you're the only person ever able to sneak up on me? He said. That's my secret now. Where are you going? You know Sensei wants us at this meeting, Tsunade said. I don't want to see them, Jiraiya said. Tsunade rolled her eyes. And you call yourself a Senin, she said. Hey, I am a Senin, I earned the title just like you did, Jiraiya said. Then man up and get in there, Tsunade said. No, I don't want to see those old bastards, Jiraiya said. Tsunade sighed and grabbed the back of his shirt and dragged him in. Why do you make this harder on yourself? Why are both my teammates idiots? She said. Hey, don't compare me to Orochimaru, Jiraiya yelled. Then stop acting like a spoiled brat, Tsunade said. She continued to pull him in the room. Sorry I'm late, Sensei, I found him trying to sneak away, she said. You didn't find me because I wasn't lost, Jiraiya protested. You came back, Homura said. You still alive, retorted Jiraiya. Why did you come back? Kaharu asked. Why does it matter? Replied Jiraiya. What the hell happened the last time you was here, Jiraiya? Tsunade asked. Those old bastards, Jiraiya said. You washed up pervert. I will make sure you regret the day you crossed me, Danzo said. You can try. Wait, I forgot you're still hiding behind your little root organization, Jiraiya said. They was disband and you know it, Danzo said. Is that so? Don't tell me you forgot I'm the spy master of Konoha, Jiraiya said. Okay, will one of you tell me what the hell happened? Tsunade yelled. Okay, I'll tell you, Jiraiya said. Flashback. Jiraiya was just leaving the Hokage's office after another failed attempt at trying to adopt Naruto and walked out the building slowly. He didn't know what to do now. Again, the council blocked his attempt to adopt Naruto. This marked the 5th time they blocked him. He sighed. He just knew something was up and that he had to get to the bottom of it. He exited the building and saw Danzo and decided to follow him. Danzo walked all the way to the other side of the village, then through a tunnel outside the village. Jiraiya kept to the shadows but close enough to follow him. When Danzo arrived at his destination, Jiraiya got close enough to see what was going on and was surprised to see not only Orochimaru but a masked man who had the Sharingan in one eye. He listened in on their conversation. Danzo, any news? The masked shinobi asked. Well, we blocked Jiraiya from adopting the Kyuubi Gaki again. This is the 5th time we blocked him and Tsunade from adopting him in the last 2 years, Danzo said. This could become a problem if they continue to try and adopt him, Orochimaru said. I agree, said the masked nin. Maybe we could get one of them banned, hopefully Jiraiya, Danzo said. Maybe, but that would be extremely difficult as he is a Sennin and technically is above Hokage's laws, so to ban him you need the daimyo's approval and that will be impossible, Orochimaru said. Any ideas? Danzo asked. The only thing you can do is force him away, Orochimaru said. But is that possible? The masked nin asked. I don't know, Toby. Jiraiya is a hard person to force to do something when he has his mind set on something, Orochimaru said. Ain't all the Sennins? Toby asked. I have to meet up with Homura and Kaharu. We will come up with something, Danzo said. I have no doubt you will. Now how is the Sharingan? Toby asked. Sharingan? Jiraiya thought. Great. I am just out of training but I will be fine when I need it, Danzo said. Don't let your old age get to you, Orochimaru said. I won't. Danzo then left. After Danzo was a few feet in front of Jiraiya, he started to follow him. What are you up to, Danzo? He thought. Danzo reached his next destination. Homura Kaharu, sorry I'm late. The meeting with our 2 informants went longer than I thought, he said. That's fine, Danzo. What news do you have? Homura asked. Well, we decided we need to get Jiraiya away from Konoha, Danzo said. Well, how do we do that? Kaharu asked. I don't know yet, Danzo asked. I have an idea, Homura said. What is it? Danzo asked. All we have to do is make Jiraiya look like a liar, he said. How will we do that? Danzo asked. Go to the Hokage and say some things that we can prove happened and blame it on Jiraiya, Homura said. Danzo nodded and snapped his fingers and his root came. I need some stuff to blame on Jiraiya, he said. Jiraiya was in the Hokage's office. Sensei Danzo, Homura, and Kaharu are plotting something, he said. Do you have any proof? The third asked. I saw this with my own eyes and heard with my own ears. They are working with Orochimaru and someone named Toby, Jiraiya said. Jiraiya, those are hard crimes you're talking about, the third said. I know that now you need to do something, Jiraiya said. I can't without any proof, Jiraiya said. Proof? I am a Sennin. How much proof do you want them to admit it to you? Jiraiya yelled. Yes, that would be enough proof, but anything would be better than accusing the elders of doing what you're saying without any professor, the Hokage said. Why would you not listen and stop acting like a damn politician all the time? Danzo has the fucking Sharingan for Kami's sake, Jiraiya said. Jiraiya, there is nothing I can do. Even if what you say is true, I can't do anything without proof, the Hokage said. Then let me adopt the Gaki. You know that they are up to something and it involves Naruto not having parents, Jiraiya said, trying to remain calm. I can't do that, the third said. Why the hell not? Jiraiya asked. Because it would be too suspicious, the third said. Suspicious of what? Jiraiya asked. Of him being Minato's son, the third said. He looks like him, damn it, you don't need to be a damn genius to figure that out, Jiraiya yelled at him. Look, you're not adopting him, and if you have no proof about the elders, then this conversation is pointless, the third said. There was a knock on the door. Come in, the third said. Hokage-sama, Danzo, Homura, and Kaharu said. I need to see you three, the third said. You do? They asked. Yes, are you working with Orochimaru? He asked. What, of course not, he is a known enemy and working with him would be treason, Danzo said. See, there you have it, Jiraiya, the third said. Of course they won't tell, you idiot. Jiraiya thought. Fine, have it your way, but don't come to me when you're stabbed in the back by them and Orochimaru. Jiraiya then started to walk out. He stopped at the three. I know what you're up to and know this: if you harm Naruto I will kill each of you. And Danzo, you better get as much practice in with your Sharingan as possible and keep your root around you at all times, he said, then walked out. The three watched him walk out. And don't come call to me for anything, sensei. He then slammed the door, breaking it off the hinges. Sorry about that, he has this idea that you three are working with Orochimaru and plotting something, the third said. No problem, but that's a ridiculous idea, Danzo said. I know now, what did you want? The third asked. We want to pass a law that prevents anyone from adopting Naruto, Danzo said. I can't pass a law that prevents someone from adopting anyone else, the third said. But it's for the safety of the village, Danzo said. I still can't pass that law, the third said. Fine. The three walked out. None knew Jiraiya was still listening in on their talks. Flashback ends. You're still going on about that, Jiraiya? It was already solved. No one in this village was working with Orochimaru, the third said. That's what you think, Jiraiya said. I can see why you didn't want to come back, Tsunade said. The only reason I did was because I needed to make sure Naruto was being cared for. Once I saw him living with Kurenai, Anko, and Yugo, I started to give him scrolls to help, Jiraiya said. That was you. It's a crime to help him any more than he was getting, Homura yelled. Shut the hell up. No one in this room besides Tsunade can kill me, and even if you had the balls to carry out that threat I would kill you before you even had the chance to complete a jutsu, Jiraiya said. Why would there be a law preventing anyone from helping him? Tsunade asked. I never understood that either. In fact, none of the clan heads was even given a chance to vote for that law, Hiashi said. I was given a chance to vote for it, Fugaku said. Sensei, don't tell me you let them do all this and didn't try and stop them, Tsunade said. It was a vote and that's how it came out, the third said. Half the council didn't get a chance to vote, Jiraiya yelled. Look, it's already happened and nothing we can do about it, the third said. Just like there is nothing we can do about Danzo, Homura, and Kaharu is working with Orochimaru, just like you can't do anything about them preventing us from adopting Naruto, or that you can't do anything about Danzo having the Sharingan, Jiraiya said. What makes you think I have the Sharingan? Danzo said. Besides the fact that I was there when you met with Orochimaru and that Toby guy 7 years ago, I'm not even a medic and I know it is impossible for someone who has as many injuries as you claim you have to be able walk as good as you can even if you're using a cane, Jiraiya said. What you saying I'm faking my injuries that I got after years of being a shinobi? Danzo asked. I'm saying exactly what it sounds like I'm saying, Jiraiya said. You have no proof and I have the report from my doctor on file if you want me to get it, Danzo said. We all know how easy it is to get a doctor to fake a report if they are working under you, Jiraiya said. Enough, we have business to get to, the Hokage said. Well, get to it without me, I'm leaving, and don't involve me in any of your plans because I won't take part in them, Jiraiya said, then walked out. Tsunade whistled after he left. You really screwed up this time, sensei. He wasn't even this mad when he found out Orochimaru became a traitor, she said. I will fix it later, the third said. No, there is no fixing it. he no longer considers you a friend, Tsunade said. The third side, anyway, we need to talk about the academy class with the heirs in it, they are far ahead of everyone else, he said. It's simple, increase the help non-shinobi families can get, have training for them before they go to the academy so they won't be so far behind, seriously you are getting too old, Tsunade said and left. Tsunade walked out the tower and saw Jiraiya waiting for her. You're really pissed ain't you, she said. He still thinks I'm lying, Jiraiya said. This means a lot to you don't it, she asked. He was like a father to both us and he looked at me and basically said I'm lying, how should I feel, he asked. I understand why you're mad, what I don't get is if you knew that something was up why didn't you take it into your own hands, Tsunade asked. I may be a senin but I can't take on all of Root by myself, even with your help we would be overrun, he said. So what will you do, she asked. I'm leaving the Gaki, don't need both of us and you're on better terms with this village than I am, I'll come back if you ever want me to, he said. Tsunade looked at him shocked, after all you went through to get me back here you're just going to quit and leave, she said. Jiraiya looked around. Can we go somewhere and talk in private, he asked. Fine, we will go to my apartment, she said. Tsunade locked her door after they walked in and made sure Shizune was gone. Now what's up, talk to me Jiraiya, you never run from a problem, why now, she asked. I don't know, I have did everything I can to help him, now there is nothing I can do, at least not until he is a Chunin, and I can already see he won't become one as long as Sensei as the Hokage, Jiraiya said. So what are you going to do? She asked again, wanting a full answer from him. He sighed, knowing what she wanted. I'm going to do what I can to protect him, and being in this village might be hurting him. I found out that Orochimaru used to work for this group that's collecting Biju and I'm going to find out more about them, he said. Oh, what do you know about them now? She asked. Not much, but they are all S-ranked mission nins, he said. Okay, but again why bring me back here just so you can run away, she asked. Because he needs someone who can protect him, someone more than a normal Junin or Anbu, he needs a Senin, more importantly he needs you to protect him a lot more than he needs me, Jiraiya said. Is that really why you brought me back? Tsunade asked. Well no, also I needed to spend time with you because I don't know if I will survive what I'm going to do. I needed you to know that no matter what we've been through since Minato died I still love you and always will, he said. I know that, but why did you need to bring me here to tell me that? Tsunade asked. Because if I would have told you I might die while you was out of the village you would have tried to stop me from going, he said. Damn right, you can't be going off into danger by your damn self, Tsunade yelled. See, this is why I brought you back to the village, because after me you're the last person who can protect him from the council. Our support for Naruto prevented the council doing a lot out of fear of how we would react, and if both of us are dead who knows what they will do. Besides you can't leave now because the Gakis have grown close to you, you're like a bachin to all them, he said. Damn it Jiraiya, you did this on purpose, she yelled. I know, besides you need to lead this village this upcoming war. I would, but we know I'm not Hokage material, Jiraiya said. What are you talking about? Tsunade asked. Orochimaru is planning a war in a few years, we both know Sensei won't fight him seriously, you need to be here when he dies and take control, and if I'm still alive I will come back to help, he said. Tsunade looked at him. Listen here you pervert, you better not get yourself killed before I see you again, she said. I'll try not to, he said. She hugged him. Be careful Jiraiya, and remember I love you. She then kissed him and watched as he jumped out her window. Be careful, she whispered one last time. Tsunade arrived at Naruto's. Hey, open up, she yelled, banging on the door. Naruto ran downstairs in his bath towel and opened the door. Sorry, Kasen is asleep, he said. All three of them? Tsunade asked. Yes, they wake up late when they have the day off, and it's rare they all have it off at the same time. I'm so excited we get to do a lot of stuff together, he said. Tsunade laughed. I bet now go get dressed Gaki and wake them up, I have some important things to tell them, she said. Naruto ran upstairs. Tsunade heard a bunch of bumping and a few loud, "Get out of my room Naru-chan," before they all finally walked downstairs. You three are hard sleepers when you want to be, she said looking at them. Well, when you only get one off day in 2 weeks you will be too, Kurenai said rubbing her eyes. Why are you here so early anyway? Anko asked. We need to talk. You need to know exactly why Jiraiya stayed away for all those years, Tsunade said. The four sat down. Okay, Yugo said. Tsunade told them everything. Is all that true? Anko asked. I will believe it is. Jiraiya wouldn't make up this. Besides, he went through a lot to get me to come back to this village and on the verge of begging me to stay here and protect him from the council, Tsunade said. So what will we do? Kurenai asked. Well, hopefully he will be okay, but in the meantime I need you to train as much as possible from at least the next 3 years, Tsunade said. Wait, so Gigi is gone? Naruto asked. Yes, Tsunade said. And Gigi Hokage was the reason he left? Naruto asked. Partly, Tsunade said. But why? Naruto asked. Because he didn't believe what Jiraiya said about Danzo, Tsunade said. Who is Danzo? Naruto asked. He is the mummy man on the council, Tsunade said. Naruto, though, for a minute, the man who walks with a cane, he asked. Yup, Tsunade said. That's no cane. He almost cut me with it before, and his eye spins like Kakashi's, Naruto said. You mean you saw his Sharingan? Tsunade asked. Yes, when I was in the orphanage, Naruto said. This is great, we can prove Jiraiya was telling the truth, Tsunade said. You think it might be too late for that though, the elders are too far into their plan, almost nothing short of killing them will stop what they have planned, Kurenai said. You're right. For now don't mention this to anyone, I'll inform the other clans we are close to, Tsunade said. Okay, I'm going back to bed, Anko said. I'm coming with you, Kurenai said. Tsunade, so you knew my Otusan also, can you tell me more about him? Naruto asked. Sure, you can spend the day with me and I'll tell you about him, Tsunade said. This was just the beginning, the real secret will unfold in the next episode. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hit the bell icon so you'll be the first to see what happens next. See you again in the next journey of Uzumaki Empire 2.0.